it's almost over.
Hello and a very good evening to all our viewers. You are locked on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, and it all comes down here. It all ends here in this Dialogue Rugby League, league number 16 of this Dialogue Rugby League. It all ends here as Kandy Sports Club take on Havelock Sports Club. It is supposed to be a very exciting league final. Kandy Sports Club, of course, the defending champions of the Dialogue Rugby League, took a backlogger last second round. I think they lost a few key games, and then I think Havelock Sports Club have really stepped on the gas. And now we have all exciting final live pitches coming to you from the Havelock grounds in Havelock Park, the home for the pink jerseys. A lot of action coming to you as well in the next 80 minutes of action. So a lot of build up to this game as well. It's stacked to be a clash for the Kings of Rugby Crown. I think the Kings of Rugby Crown has been with the Kandy Sports Club for a very long period, and then now it has come to a decisive point where Havelock Sports Club will have to fight it out to win this crown against Kandy Sports Club. Joining me in this pre-game show is Sabir. Sabir, before I go out to the discussions, hasn't this Dialogue Rugby League been the most exciting Dialogue Rugby League so far?
Absolutely, Inshaf, without a doubt. That 2 extra week proving so much efficiency in this league, and also it's not only the trouble that Kandy Sports Club went through, and especially that sailors or the soldiers, rather armies, that win in Nittawala Fortress. That is a turning point for this season to make it more enticed.
But actually taking a look at the Dialogue Rugby League, how it has panned out, Sabir, taking a look at the lower tier clubs, for example CHNFC, then CHNFC coming up the ranks. I think they've made a major leap forward. But then about Air Force, I think Air Force and Navy and also Army coming up the ranks, it's a good sign for Sri Lanka Rugby.
Absolutely it is, but credit must be given to Police Sports Club, where they started from the first round. They were right on the bottom of the points table, Inshaf, and then winning that plate segment, it's something quite special. Maybe kudos to coach Shamli Nawaz and his team. Also disappointed with Navy's performance, where they ended in the first round. Now they are right just above the Wooden Spoon Air Force on that 7th spot, which is not really something they wanted to start from the start of the season. Rightfully
so. So a lot of action coming to you in this Dialogue Rugby League, and we thank all our viewers for being with ThePapare.com. It's on its 10th year this year, and then we come to the final week. Let's take a quick look at the conditions today, Sabir. Conditions are not at all friendly. I think we expect a lot of humidity, and expect the referee to take that 20-minute break as well.
Absolutely, it is without a doubt. Referees will be on point. Even we saw that in the school league as well, Inshaf. Also last week's encounter, 20 minutes and then a 2-minute break is a master for all these teams. Look at the humidity, even we are sweating and melting like that. So when you go into that first quarter, you will certainly feel that. And also it'll be interesting tactical. I'm not sure who's going to start from left to right on your screens, Inshaf, because the sun advantage kickoff right away, sending to those forwards with the aerial kick. That could be another tactical point in these hot and humid conditions.
Let's wait and find out. You're with Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, ThePapare.com. Live pitches coming to you from this Dialogue Rugby League finale. Kandy Sports Club playing Havelock Sports Club. We'll take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have lots to talk about from this Kandy Sports Club, Havelock Sports Club clash here at Havelock Park.
Some days I can't move forward, I'm not gonna let it push me over. But
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent. Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරේදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Perry, මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
It ain't easy, but it's almost over.
Welcome back to live pictures here on Sri Lanka's number one sports hub. It's the Havelock Sports Club stadium that's going to host this Dialogue Rugby League final. Interestingly, Sabir, in the past few years, Havelock Sports Club have never hosted Kandy Sports Club in a final week fixture. I think it's the first time. I think we've always known how Havelock Sports Club have faltered and how they've closely competed with Kandy Sports Club. But interestingly, this is the first time that we're going to have a finale at Havelock Sports Club.
Yeah, it has been always in the Nitawala finals for the last 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Only that Clifford Cup knockouts come down to race course, or if it's in Kandy, it's Pallekali. But giving the fact and giving the team performance Havelocks have produced in Shaf, they have been done their homework really well. And Kandy, I'm even not really performance from the last week, it's not really convincing enough, because only the first half they managed to score just 3 points, and also Samuel Madhuvanta's missed tackle on Anuruddha the Vilwara that caused entire scenario to change upside down in that game. So one battle going to be tough, especially with this home condition. I still fancy Havelocks coming through a long way in this game.
Sabik, other fancies Havelock Sports Club early on, but taking a look at Havelock Sports Club once again, Havelock have been the revelation this season in this Dialogue Rugby League. We'll take a quick look at how they have performed in this Dialogue Rugby League, Sabir. Early on in this Dialogue Rugby League, people would have thought that Havelock Sports Club do not have that side. They've seen a lot of exits from there in the transfer market as well. But then Havelock Sports Club have later done their job well. I think the juniors, Dinu Kamar Singh also, he's going to be back for this game as well. But the juniors have done really well. I think they've got themselves together. Coach Sanath Martis has done a really good job in building this side.
Absolutely. It is not only coach and also the committee, because they lost all those star names to other clubs. But going through with these youngsters, that shows that it's all about not the names, it's all about one-on-one battle until the 23 who comes off the bench as the replacement. We saw that last week, where Sandesh Jai Vikrama, who didn't start due to his captain Eroshan Fernando starting, and then he got the opportunity and bingo, look at his tackle one-on-one. That's the reason Kandy also lost in the fortress between Havelocks and Kandy in the week before.
I would pick one very important topic, Sabir. You talked about teamwork, and that's exactly how this Havelock Sports Club team has been winning these games. We'll take a quick look at how Havelock Sports Club have performed in this Dialogue Rugby League. They started off their campaign in a bit of a confusion. I think Havelock Sports Club played Army Sports Club here in Lights, and then until the last few minutes, I think Havelock did not have that upper hand. And then when they did, I think they were still struggling. I think when it came, Eroshan Fernando, the captain, had issues as well in the back line, but then things changed in the second round when Havelock started to play with their line.
Yeah, that's all about the first game. You know, you feel those early nerves. Even it was 6-all against Army Sports Club, and then Army into a lead, and then Havelock realized in the final quarter, as you can see on your screen, too good some work coming from and finishing off 23 points to 12. So that's the momentum that shifted entire to the second round, as well as the last week's game against CRNFC.
This was Havelock, Sabir, when Havelock Sports Club played CSNFC, Samuel Madhuvanti, to talk about this lad, but we cannot forget that final minute move. Dinu Kamar Singh chipped in that ball. Then Sashan Mohammed, not playing today, is out injured, but he brought that victory home in the full-time whistle. 13-16, that's how CSNFC led at half-time, but then that last move, it changes everything.
Look, even without Dinu Kamar Singh, Havis managed to pull that win against Kandy, but today he is there, so it's a big plus for them. And you can see that sensational work with his first touch. That's sort of a offloading ability what you need. And this man Samuel Madhuvanti, he certainly have to improve in terms of his defensive work in shaft to get that Tuskers number 15 shirt. That's how the game ended. against Havelocks versus CH.
But then coming back to Police Sports Club on that match when they played at Police Park, we remember the league earlier, I think they were deprived of a win when that kick was charged down, but this time they were on the lead 17 points to nil. That's how much they scored. But then Havelock Sports Club with their forwards, I think Coach Mart is putting those tactical changes, and that's when things change in second half.
Absolutely, it's all about the belief that they had, and Sandun Herat coming off the bench and also some other senior players made a real impact to turn around. This is there, you can see the number 14 shirt, and he also scored 1 or 2 in this game. That's the turning point, and they didn't panic in Shaf. They knew how to manage and play the last quarter, and they played like professionals, and they were stood to their game plan, and there comes the results, including Lasindu Ishan scoring that try. He has been a real menace in that number 8 shirt for Havelock Sports Club. He'll be handy, not only those big hard hits and the number 8 breaks, and some of the time when the open play, his kicks into the opposite territory will come very usual in Shaf.
But then, Sabir, I would say the turning point for Havelock Sports Club was that second round, and Mithun Hapugoda coming up, putting his hand up. Buonakurangama was indeed exceptional when they played at Nithawala, but Mithun Hapugoda, wearing the number 21 shirt, comes in as a replacement for the pink jerseys, and that's where the change, that's where the game is born and lost for Havelock Sports Club. We'll take a look at that CR game as well, where he changed that game single-handedly. Havelock Sports Club were not able to breach that Kandy fortress last time, but then when they came here, I think things changed altogether.
Yeah, Dushmant Priyadarshana, one of the unsung heroes, along with that Liston Flatney in the front row combination. 31 points to 21. That's how it ended in the first round. Although Havelocks did the revenge, so it's 1-1 each. So it's going to be the grand finale like we expected. And this is the other game, CH versus Havelocks in the second leg. This is a disappointment lost in Shaf. If Havelocks could have won this, by now they are the champions. 26 points to 22, leading in that first half, and then they took a bit easy and then loosened up. CHNFC said thank you very much, and some good try by Samuel Madhwanta, and some excellent conversion from the far angle, and one of the drop goals coming into that game. 40 points to 33. CHNFC must be certainly proud with that performance. And then another rivalry, Havis versus CRNFC rather.
But see, the difference in this is, Sabir, this was that game that Teaksha Disanagat Kandy were, in fact, Havelock Sports Club were playing without any of their key players. Rahal Delpachitra, Liston Flatty taken out, and then Asmi Fajrin, you had to give it to this lad. He was playing on one knee, one leg, in fact, and then he won that game. Mithun Hapugoda, there you go. He's the X factor. He's the trump card that Havelock Sports Club has in their lineups. That's how this game ended. Havelock Sports Club reigning on top. Mithun Hapugoda, we'll speak about Mithun Hapugoda, but we speak about him later. But then talking about Kandy Sports Club, it's a legacy, and it has been something what every Sri Lankan club has been wanting to be. Kandy Sports Club, 4-time defending champions, and their defending title is on the line today when they play Havelock Sports Club.
Absolutely, indeed, Inshav. That's a question mark. Whether Sean Vijay Singh's team can take it 5 in a row, we have to wait and see for that 80 minutes. But they have that. If you see the last game against CHNFC in Shaf, they scored one try at the 77th minute, and then they scored a last try in the 80th minute. So that's all about the champion team. They know how to play the 80 minutes. So if you give a small hint of chance, they know how to secure the championship.
Exactly. So 4-time defending champions was taken a bit of a backpedaling this time. They lost for 3 games in this Dialogue Rugby League. Lost that early game to Army, unfortunately lost that time, and then came the important one, CHNFC winning against Kandy Sports Club after 19 years, if I'm not mistaken, and then Havelock Sports Club winning this encounter at Havelock Park. That was one of the crucial encounters that turned this league around, and then but taking nothing away from this Kandy team, Sabir, they've performed to their optimum level. I think the way they played in this last season, let's take a look at how they've performed in this Dialogue Rugby League. They started off their season with not the best of seasons so far, but somehow or the other, come the second round, come CRNFC, come CHNFC, they've pushed back to become the champion outfit.
Yeah, that Ratmalana Air Force ground is not something they really fancy in Shaf, because we saw a couple of years ago how Air Force turned over that victory over defending champion. That's again, this is the first game they are playing away game. Kandy had to travel a lot into Colombo in that first round encounter, and then in the second half they geared up again. It took time, 28 points to 19, how it got ended. And this is another game. Police gave some hard time for Kandy, despite the fact Kandy scoring early.
Danush Ranjan has been a bit of backpedaling in the second half of this Dialogue Rugby League. Had scored 9 tries. That 9-point option was there for a very long time. He was leading that top prize scorer list. But then Danush Ranjan has not been his best. So expect when he returns to his old club, this is where he learnt his club rugby Sabir, and when he returns to his old club, I expect more action from this number 13, Danush Ranjan, the playmaker for Sri Lanka Rugby as well.
Absolutely, indeed, he's so powerful. That's a lovely move watch on your screen, all the way Shehan Patirana. And this is sort of a rugby we like to see from Kandy, which is missing in the past few weeks in Shaf. And every time they get the ball to Nigel Ratwata, we know how dangerous they are. 14-all in that half time. And then Buna Kodangama, it's sad to see that he is going to miss this game. So as Dushmanta Priyadarshana, if I'm not mistaken, for Havelocks, 2 good players, 2 men on form.
Breathtaking form Dushmanta Priyadarshana was in, leading that front line right from the front. I think that's where that made the difference for Havelock Sports Club. But meanwhile, Buna Kodangama, Shehan Patirana and Tharun Sasuranga, what a trio they've been for Kandy Sports Club.
Oh yeah, absolutely phenomenal work rate they are doing, and especially Nigel Ratwat and Shehan Patirana. Adding that, Nigel, we always talk about that missing number 10 shirt for Kandy Sports Club, but Nigel has done decent enough, although it's not Fazil Marja's style, but he had control very well. He's the game changer. He was the player of the match in that last week's game. This is Danush Ranjan. We want to see him running quite a lot. He's although wearing that number 13 shirt in Shaf. We saw him in the last couple of games. Sean Vijayasinghe have opted in that left wing position, where he also played that wing position in the Sri Lanka Sevens outfit. So one-on-one battle, that's a super tackle.
But interestingly, Sabir, in that game, what coach Sean Vijayasinghe did correct was he used Richard Dharmapala where he is used to playing. I think Dharmapala, the captain, wanted to, he's been given to push that inside centre role because he knows how important that 12 berth is for Kandy Sports Club. He's filling in Gayan Veeraratne, and this time around, Coach Vijayasinghe opted to play him at wing, his usual position, and that proved a lot of benefit for the Kandy side.
Absolutely, it is. We'll see how the team card goes. We'll bring you as we progress 22 points to 20. That's how that game ended. And
but this game was
absolutely, I was going to say, yes.
You would agree with me. This is the game that opened this Dialogue Rugby League. It has been a horse race between Kandy Sports Club and Havelock Sports Club. But this game changed everything apart. Army Sports Club, what a performance that day.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. The weather also helped the Army forwards to play their usual game, and few mistakes coming in from Kandy Sports Club. Not disciplined enough, giving away cardinal errors and few yellow cards. If I'm not mistaken, 4 yellow cards for Kandy players in that game. So which means you're playing with 14 men up to 80 minutes. That means you're playing with 14 men for like 40 minutes, almost one half.
But then Danush Ranjan was deprived of that try in the far corner. Would have loved to score that one and bring that victory in that final minutes. But all credit to this Army Sports Club side, because the way they've played and the way they've come up the ranks, very unfortunate to miss out on that plate position as well. But then things changed at Racecourse. Racecourse is the ground where Kandy Sports Club have lost games. They lost the game to Rohit Rajapaksa's Army Sports Club, and now 3 years later they lose a game to Rohit Rajapaksa's CHNFC.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting game. CHNFC, they didn't stick. They actually stick to their game plan. This is what you wanted, you know. They were leading 16.7 quite comfortably, and then Kandy, few mistakes. Sudham Suryarachi, and he was the player of the match. He managed that territorial kick, put Kandy into the bay. And clearly, to play in the opposite half, they didn't do anything silly in their 22 or in their own half. That was the game plan from the coach Ronnie Ibrahim. They just execute that to perfection.
So this is the Dialogue Rugby Super Weekend. Sri Lanka Rugby is using this Super Weekend, and it has proved well. We'll take a quick look at how the points table stands at the moment. Kandy Sports Club in that second position. The difference between just 2 points. So winner takes all in this Dialogue Rugby League. So that's how exactly this finishes. CSNFC at 3rd place, and then CRNFC winning that 4th position. And then Police Sports Club finishing on top with that 5th place person taking home the plate championship. Then they take a quick look at how the top try and point scorers have also taken a drift. Sabir, earlier it's supposed to be the Kandy team dominating the leaderboards, but then things have changed this time. Sudham Suryarachi scored 1 try yesterday, and then he's on top, but Mithun Hapagoda is yet to play a game, so expect Hapagoda to come out in that second half.
Oh yes, Hapagoda has been a revelation. Sad he missed out couple of years, in fact, also in the Sri Lankan jersey due to his injury. Every time he recovers and come into field, and then he picks up another injury. So bless him, and it's good that he's really playing into his form, something useful for all the coaches in the pink jersey as well.
So Mithun Hapagoda, very interesting, very important player when Havelock Sports Club plays Kandy. But let's see what happened last time when Kandy Sports Club came here to Havelock Park to play Kandy, to play Havelock, of course. Unfortunately, Kandy Sports Club were not on the best of forms that day, and then Mithun Hapagoda, once again, he has been a born match winner this season.
Yeah, you can see where Nigel Watt started that kickoff in Shaffer right away, straight to the sun to put Havelocks to feel that momentum here at the Havelock Park. And then Ganako Disanayaka, of course, former Havis player, scoring that first try. Not quite usual to see from a Lucid proper scoring that first try. And then Kandy, they went up to 19-0 at one point with this conversion. And then what a performance by Havelock. Just one try from that far corner, Sanum Herat. And clever work by Reza Mubarak, the older guy.
See, Sabir, what's exciting is that how Havelock Sports Club and the experienced players, Mithun Hapagoda, Dushman the Priyadarshana, Sandun Herat not playing today, and then Reza Mubarak, and these few have stood between the side, and then I think that's exactly what they do. They use their experience to good use, and that's how the game turned around. Mithun Hapagoda coming into that number 9 pod in half time, changed everything apart. Havelock Sports Club were leading at 21, and then there you go, breaking through, seeing space. Mithun Hapagoda brings home the winning try for Havelock.
Absolutely, Inshaf. He didn't need a second invitation, and this is another trademark tie. Wonderful. Inside their own 22 and all the way to Kandy's try line. Something amazing. Look at the celebration. The all question realize, can they repeat that form? That 2-point win is all about last time they met in this ground. So that can they make it again? It's going to be a tough question, but still they had the potential. And especially if they can do that one-on-one defense, not allowing Kandy backs to run, then I think it's going to be an interesting game.
We speak about Mithun Hapagoda. He is a showman on the field and he's a showman off the field. We have seen his witty dancing moves as well. But Hapagoda and Roshan Veeraratne, two senior men in that number 9 jerseys, playing for each of their clubs. I think both of these players have a lot of history between themselves, a lot of experience. They've gone on national tours. But then how exactly is that battle won and lost, Sabir? Roshan Veeraratne is expected to play the first half, and Hapagoda is tipped to be the second half.
Yeah, that's Vimukti Rahula coming in first half. He's a young player who played for Sri Lanka under 20, but that's a tactical change because nowadays the bench is not the reserves or the substitutes, they are the finishers. So it's all about that clever tactical change. Also Sandesh Jayavikrama in that first receiver position. Their captain Hiroshim Fernando, he can play as 12 and 30. So we don't know what time they're going to come off the bench. So it's going to be all about the coach's hand.
Actually, and also Theekshan Disanayaka put his hand up at the absence of Dinu Kamar Singh, and interestingly the coaching staff have opted to play Theekshan Disanayaka at 12 and then Dinu Kamar Singh moves to 13. So how important, how exciting is this change as well, Sabir, for the Havelock side?
Absolutely, it's going to be Theekshana's defense and Dinu Kamar Singh's attack. One-on-one defense is going to be crucial. Theekshana, we know that he's got that animal instinct in Shaf, so it's going to be like up front, not allow any gain yards. That's what coach must be expecting from Theekshana. And Dinu Kamar Singh every time get an overlap or to create something out of nothing. That would be his ideally his job role today.
So there you go, a lot of matchup, a lot of interesting clashes coming to you. Boa Athu on our prediction show said that Kandy Sports Club is set to win 12 points plus. But coming to your last question for one last time in this Dialogue Rugby League, Sabir, who will it be?
It's going to be anyone's clash. Like I said, in Shafa, any team who make that one-on-one defense and also less penalties who's conceding, certainly they're going to be the winners.
So there you go. That is the prediction from the sidelines. Thank you, Sabir Kader, for joining us. We will have Sudarshan Piris and Abdullah Yusuf at the commentary box to take you through the team cards.
Thank you very much, Inshaf. A brilliant atmosphere here at the Havelock Park. League decider, Havelock Sports Club hosting Kandy Sports Club here at the Havelock Park. This is going to be a crunching affair. That's what they're playing for the bragging rights of being Dialogue Club Rugby League champions 2018-19. And joining with me in commentary is Abdullah Yusuf. Abdullah, it's going to be a crunching game. These two teams, first round game was won by Kandy Sports Club. Second round, Havelock's hit back. And here's the third affair. It's going to be a very, very interesting game.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Sudarshana. It's going to be a really close game, as you very correctly said. It's come down to this final game. The permutations are very clear. Havelocks, all they need to do is, if a draw will be suffice for them to lift the league for this season, Kandy will definitely have to win. So it's very clear. So I think all in all, we can expect a very good game. The conditions also are going to play a big part. The humidity level is very, very high. We've seen Kandy during the latter part of the game struggling with this humidity, so it'll be interesting to see how they will adjust to that.
Oh, absolutely. That's a part of the tactics that Havelocks have used. They are the host. They can decide on what time that they play. So they've opted to play at 4 o'clock in the evening instead of playing it under lights, where Kandy would have preferred that kind of weather. But Kandy Sports Club, we saw last weekend, turned out a much better performance than we've seen them do in the second half. Abdullah against CHNFC, where they came from behind and managed to clinch the victory. But yet again, one important factor was that the fact that they were playing in Nittavela, they had their crowd behind them. The crowd slightly filling up, as you can see, the opposite side of the ground, so we don't have many spectators, but they will gather in as the game progresses. The two teams making their way out for the official introduction. And Abdullah, something that I want to touch about. Yes, history does matter, and it doesn't play a big part when it comes to this game. Last time Kandy travelled down to Havelock Park for a league decider. They lost the league after 10 years. That was in 2013, where Havelock Sports Club had four Tongan players. 4 Tongan players playing for them. All of them went on to represent Tonga in that same year, and they won, if my memory serves me right, 47 points to 13. One of the biggest defeats Kandy ever had. So Havis will hope for a repeat of that.
Yeah, most definitely. And also, to Havelock's credit, I think at the start of the season, no one gave them a chance of being in this situation. So from their point of view, anything that comes their way will be a bonus.
Here's the Havelock Sports Club team card for you. Liston Flatney, Asmir Fajruddin, Abdullah Faiz. So the experience of Liston Flatney is going to be very crucial here, because Asmir Fajruddin, we've seen he's become a very, very good player for Havelock Sports Club. Second row, the engine room for Havelock Sports Club, Umesh Madhushan and Shahrukh Fernando. Third row, Senal Silva, Situm Piris and Lasadu Karnatilaka. They've been brilliant for Havelock Sports Club. Vimukta Rahula and Niroshan Fernando have been the preferred halfback combination. Chamra Dabare, Tikshan Disanayaka. Dinok Kamarasinghe makes return to the Havelock jersey with Randy Silva moving to the wing, and ever so reliable Risa Mubarak at the back for the replacement. Dayan Sabah, two brothers playing for Havelock Sports Club. And here's the distinguished guest being introduced to the two teams. Captain Richard Dharmapala will want to make sure that he takes the trophy back home, because he wouldn't want to give it away after dominating the Club Rugby League for 4 years under his watch, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right. Kandy do pride themselves on making long streaks as possible, and it's no different this year as well. There's a lot riding on this game for both teams, really. Havelocks will be trying to retain the title, which I believe they last won in 2012, and Kandy Sports Club will be wanting to just carry on their dynasty that they have created since 1992. But it's going to be a very interesting game. I think tactics are going to play a big part in it. We saw the Havelocks lineup. Dinuk Amarasinghe coming back into that center field is going to play a big part. But also we'll have to keep a close eye on their replacements, especially Mithun Hapugoda. When he comes on later on in the game, he just adds so much more pace into the game when he does come on. And so many times we have seen this season that has made such a big difference from Havelock's point of view.
Yes, Havelocks have employed different tactics to make sure that they have an explosive second half. We will have to wait and see how Kandy Sports Club will counter that. It's a very humid day here in Colombo at the Havelock Park. Abdullah, Kandy is definitely going to struggle with this weather. Havish, on the other hand, I'm sure would have prepared for this all week. They would have tried to. They would have really tried to replicate these conditions here and make sure that these guys are ready to go come the final whistle.
Yes, there's no doubt that that will be the case. The Kandy team lineup will probably come up in a bit, but it looks like they have made a few tactical changes to counter that. They have kept their big men like Heshan Kalhar to off the bench this time, and they've slotted in young Mohammad Shabir into the second row, so he will be starting the game as well. So they have made some tactical adjustments as we have a look at the Kandy outfit.
Let's quickly go through the Kandy team. Ganako Disana goes to the Daisuri, Ashan Darling, Soiru Anthony, Shabir Mohammed makes his way into the second row alongside Soiru Anthony, Shehan Patirna, Tarandu Chaturanga and Jason Disanaik at the back three. Roshan Viradna, Nigel Ratwate, Lavanga Pereira, Oshan Pereira, Danushka Ranjan, Richard Dharmapal and Tilna Vijay Singh, and the replacements for Kandy are Damit Disanaik, Lasita Tanagoda Yakubali, Heshan Silva, Shashika Javardhane, Heshan Jansen, Lakshita Ranavirana, Anuruddha Bilwar. Very interesting change there, Abdullah. Richard Dharmapal finally going to the wing three-quarter position where he's very effective.
Yes, and more importantly, in my point of view, Danushka Ranjan coming to his more accustomed outside centre position. So those changes, I think, could have an impact. Ranjan did seem a bit out of sorts on the wing. He did not go and look for work. It's not a very position that he's very well accustomed to. Like, unlike in the sevens game where the ball does come to you, in the 15s, if you are a wing three-quarter and you want to make maximum impact, you've got to go and look for work. So he just seemed to be out of the game in the previous matches. So I think it's a good move to see him coming back into his more accustomed outside centre position.
Here's Risa Mubarak to quick start the proceedings, and the ball goes straight into the hands of the danger man, Ranjan, who passes it over to Veeratna. Veeratna not finding touch. Here's Randy Silva looking to counter. Good tackle by Shabir Mohammed, and great strength shown going over it. A ruck was formed. Lasidu Karnatolika didn't have any right to the ball, and referee Wong rightly so penalizing him straight away. So Havis starting off with a penalty. Not an ideal start for him.
Yes, a good chase, and Havelocks did manage, rather Kandy managed to get numbers to that breakdown and put a lot of pressure on that breakdown, and a wonderful touch finder by Nigel Ratwata. So great attacking opportunity for Kandy Sports Club.
Terrific touch. Here's the replay. Shabir Mohammed, beautiful stuff. Good strength shown over the ball. He was on his feet, put pressure. So winning the early exchanges are very important for Kandy Sports Club. They'll want to pile as many points as they can. Goes to Shahan Pathiran. No, absolutely no problem. Kandy setting it up, looking to drive them away. Sharu Fernando wanting to put pressure, but Kandy looking very well set now. Rummaging into that 5-meter line. Kandy Sports Club still in the ball, going forward. Final being brought down. Roshan Veeratna is digging for that ball. It comes out now. Pereira. Cut out pass to his brother. He's straightening things up. Kandy inches away, and that will be the first try in the second minute of play. Straight away, Kandy making their intentions very, very clear. Good cohesion, good passing, good clean passing, Abdullah, and Kandy straight away hitting the lines.
Yes, well, they've taken off from where they left off last time they played here at Havelock Park. We're scoring virtually with the kickoff. As we have a look at that replay again, Ranjan making a wonderful decoy run, a wonderful break by Pereira, and wonderful follow-up by Ratwata as well, hitting it at a wonderful angle. Good body position to go over, and Dinuk Kamarasinghe just unable to hold him back. So a wonderful start by Kandy Sports Club. Just what they would have wanted, but you've got to be mindful that this was the same thing that happened the last time they played here at Havelock Park, and they've just got to ensure that they maintain this intensity at least for 70 minutes.
Tilna Vijay Singh, who's been absolutely brilliant for Kandy Sports Club this season, attempting his first kick, and he's not successful. It goes to the side of the left post. Like you mentioned, I think, Abdullah, what's going to be very, very important for Kandy Sports Club is how they manage the game, the intensity that they put out. Yes, we've seen them starting off brilliantly in the first half, but losing pace in the second. Mubarak's restart is a good high-hanging kick. Disanaika collects it cleanly. Kandy now trying to set it up. Brought down due to a tackle by Tikshana. Ashan Darling, the preferred ball carrier. But he's lost it forward. So Havis now with an opportunity to straight away hit back. Brilliant position to attack from right in the center field, in the middle of the field. So Havis will have options on both sides of the scrum.
Yes, I'm sure they like to get Lasindo Ishan into the game and as early as possible. Very dynamic number 8. He's been very good for Havelocks this season. A very good all-round player in the Zinzenbrook mold. He's got the options of using his boot when necessary. Reads the game extremely well. So it'll be interesting to see whether he will link up with his scrum half on the short side. Tikshani Disanaik also lined up. Looks like they'll be going to the open side. Niroshan Fernando gets it to Dinu Kamarasinga, goes in for the crash ball. But a good tackle by Lavanga Pereira.
Sharu Fernando tucking that ball in. Now available for Lasindo Karunatilaka. Looks for the offload. Nobody around him. Now Liston Flatney loses it forward. Open play, but Danush Kuranjan failed to collect it. Luckily for Havelock Sports Club. Otherwise, it would have been curtains for them.
Yeah, that's right. I think they just need to tighten up a bit at the breakdown, both teams really. I think the ball presentation will be crucial as well. Liston Flatley just trying to pass the ball. Not the best position you want your prop forward to be as first receiver. He's trying to make that short pass to his fellow front row, but unfortunately not managing to collect the ball first time. Fortunately for their point of view, Danush Karanjan trying to just collect that ball rather than maybe booting it and knocking on in the process.
Going on the short side, Dinu Kamarasinga, danger. Amarasinga's offload was not properly collected by Randy Silva. Amarasinga tackled by Shabir Mohammed, former teammates at St. Anthony's College, but there's no love lost here since they are representing two teams who are battling out for an all-important championship. Uchita Jayasuriya to put in, and the preferred jumper is Shahan Patirino, who has a set of safe hands. Ranjan to Vijay Singha. Good defense by Havelocks, spanning out quickly, cutting off the holes. Now to Uchita Jayasuriya. Has no way through the Havis defense. Nigel Ratwate opting to kick for territory, and that's a brilliant kick. Bringing Kandy inside the 22 meters. And seems like Kandy are opting to go with the territorial game, Abdullah. They know that they need to make sure that they have that energy up until the 80th minute. So they are trying to play as much rugby as they can in the opposition half.
That's right. Ratwata identifying the space at the back of that Havelock's defensive line. Mubarak was placed on the far end of the field, so Randy Silva was up in the defensive line as well. So he's identified the space. Just a small observation, Havelocks do look very nervous, isn't it, at this initial stage. I'm sure if they can get a score, some form of the other, that'll just help cool the nerves down a bit.
You're absolutely right. I think what's required is one top-level performance by one of those players to lift the entire team up. Maybe a drop goal coming from Mubarak, maybe one of those terrific touch finders. Niroshan Fernando kicking for territory, finds Vijay Singh, but that's lost forward. Brilliant tackle coming in from Umesh Madhushan on Pereira. Havis now with possession will try to speed things out, but they spill it forward.
Go back there for the scrum. No advantage. Scrum.
So no advantage. No. Referee will come back for the initial infringement where Pereira spilled the ball. Wasn't ready. Randy Silva wasn't ready for that ball to come in.
Yeah, that's right. Nerves just seem to be getting the better of both teams, really. Sure, in the next few minutes, those nerves will settle down and they'll get into their familiar groove. But I think just the amount of knock-ons and losing of possession in contact we've seen this season, Sudarshana, has been quite high. It's an area of the game I think all coaches will need to focus on, at least for next season.
Absolutely, and it does affect your unforced error yet again, unforced. I think Randy Silva is currently struggling with his positioning in the wings. He's standing up a little too in front of the Latu. Twice we've seen that. Maybe he needs to start up a little deep and then attack the ball.
Yes, well, it's not an easy thing to do in such a game, to move out of your familiar position. Randy, even for Isipatana, he was primarily a centre three-quarter, if I'm not mistaken. As you very correctly said, Sudarshana, very flat. And he's expecting that ball to come in front of him. Maybe if he stands with, as you said, with a bit more depth, he'll be able to run into the ball and identify his options. But hopefully as this game progresses, he'll be able to adjust accordingly.
These stop starts are not going to be ideal. Nigel Ratwatha breaking through the middle. Still on the move. Ratwatha needs support. That's going to be a penalty any day of the week. Randy Silva found the wrong side of things yet again. He didn't have rights to that ball, but what a break by Nigel Ratwatha. ThePapare.com's player of the match in the last game of Kandy, where he single-handedly won it for Kandy Sports Club against CHNFC. And Ratwatha does the extra as well, putting Kandy yet again back into the red zone of Havelock Sports Club.
Just look at the angle he ran in. Exactly identifying the gap between the 9 and the 10 channel. Niroshan Fernando was standing outside his left shoulder, but just the awareness to execute that just says the quality of the player.
Transferring the ball in the ball. Kandy
Leave it now.
Have found ways to capitalize in the line-outs. And here's the lethal Kandy back line. Richard Dharmapala trying to run from the outside, but is well stopped. Kandy will look to recycle now. Veeratna sending it out to Mohammad Shabil. Release the player, says the referee. Yet again another penalty. Havis really need to focus on their discipline, because the more penalties that they're going to give out, the more chances Kandy will have on capitalizing on them, as Tilne Vijay Singh straight away opts to go for 3 points.
That's right, Sudarshan, and it's not just the points. I think we've noticed throughout this Super League that the foreign referees are inclined to blow the breakdown very strictly, and quite rightly so, because the flow of the game is so dependent on the breakdown. And if you we've seen, if they continue to infringe, they will not hesitate to go to the pocket. So Havelocks will not want to go down to 14 players anytime during such a crucial game. So they will have to be very careful in that aspect.
Especially given the fact that they are now trailing by 5 points. I'm sure that must be at the back of their minds of the players as well. This should be easy going for Vijay Singh with his ability, and absolutely has no problem. So Kandy Sports Club now 8 points to 0 in the lead. Vijay Singh has now collected 177 points this season. Yesterday we saw Samuel Madhuanta notching up that double 100. First player in the 21st century for Sri Lankan club rugby. The last player to do so was the veteran Nizam Jamaldeen, who had collected 240 points in one season, Abdullah.
Yes, what a wonderful place kicker he was during that era when Police Sports Club used to dominate the domestic rugby scene. As you see Riza Mubarak restarting proceedings. Straight into Veeratna's hand. Does well to stay play. Ratwata comes in and acts. Takes it into contact. Ball is recycled well. And they need to be a bit careful playing so much rugby in their own half. Eventually it comes down and Ratwata decides to find some good distance. Lasindu Ishan back there. Letting the ball bounce, never a good thing. Kandy defensive line has come up to him. He's under a bit of pressure, but does extremely well to break a few tackles and stay on his feet until the support arrives.
Great strength shown there by Lasindu Ishan.
Havelocks do have numbers out wide if they can get it. Shayan Diraga needs to get it out. They do have numbers out wide. Tikshana Disanaika decides to go into contact.
Release now!
That's going to be a penalty, not releasing the tackled player. So Havis with the chance now to really get a good attacking opportunity inside the Kandy territory. Kandy Sports Club seem to have slightly tweaked their playing pattern, Abdullah. Now they are looking to hit Havelock Sports Club a little wide with their forwards to make sure that they spread their defenses out. Havis, on the other hand, haven't really had quality position all this time during this game. That time Danushka Ranjan guilty of not releasing Randy on the ground.
Yes.
And also another aspect is playing in these big deciding games, isn't it, Sudarshana? Kandy Sports Club year in year out have been in these positions, so mentally they know what it takes to execute under so much pressure. For Havelocks, this is pretty much, for this outfit at least, it's pretty much new ground. But looks like as this game goes on, hopefully they'll be able to execute better.
Great through to the number 6 spot, and however, Kandy coming away with it, Tarindu Chaturanga. Now, Danushka Ranjan gives it to Tilna Vijay Singha. Vijay Singha in space. Good desperate tackle by Dinu Kamarasinghe. Nigel trying to find a gap. Manages to get through, but an ankle tap stops him. Pereira, long cut-out pass to Pathirana. Pathirana going straight at Silva. Good covering defense by Senal Dilaka to stop Shahan Pathirana. Ashan Darling assisted by Soiru Anthony. Great yards earned by Darling. Now Roshan Veeratna to Ratwate. Gives it to Danushka Ranjan. Ranjan looking for space. Referee is playing advantage. Nigel was taken after he passed the ball. Tilne Vijay Singha opted for drop goal, knowing that his team was receiving advantage onto their side. Now Havis really need to be disciplined. Yes, they are under the scosh. They are struggling with having conceded the lead. The problem now is they're trying to do a little too much, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right, and that's just the game management, isn't it, under so much pressure. You can see the experienced hands in the Kandy outfit, especially their halves combination. Nigel Ratwata and Roshan Veeratna just controlling things. They just know what exactly is required. And also the other aspect so far which we have seen is whenever Kandy do have possession, they always get over the gain line. And that ensures that a Havelock's defense is always on the back foot. So we've seen the referee having the first small word in Niroshan Fernando's ear. Situm Piris seems to have been the culprit on that occasion. So they'll need to be a bit careful because now they're pretty much on notice. And if they continue to infringe, they could find one of their players on the bench.
That's the last thing the Power Club would want. Vijay Singha now with his third attempt at goal. Second penalty coming his way. Take a look at this. This was the infringement. Nigel had clearly finished his passing motion. And Situm Peris, very unfortunate for him because the referee was right on the mark. Vijay Singh now. Remember, Kandy is playing against the wind in this first half, so Havis would want to make sure that they put a lid on Kandy's scoring, because come second half it'll be a little more easy, as Tilina manages to get through the second penalty as well. Increases the Kandy lead to 11 points and collects 180 points this season.
Yeah, that's right. Kandy slowly but surely accumulating the points. Havelocks just need to try and slow things down. I think the first thing they need to do is just try and get some position and just recycle a few phases, keep it a bit tight, not rush things too much as they have done. They're trying to go to the outside channels far too quickly, and the Kandy defense has been well organized to counter that. So another kickoff. Roshan Veeratne collects cleanly and finds good touch right on the 40-meter mark, or just inside. So Havelocks just need to settle things down a bit. Still, you could sense that they seem to be just overawed by the occasion, isn't it, Sudarshana? Making a few handling errors, not quite making the correct judgment calls. Kandy, on the other hand, just seemed to be right on the ball from the kickoff.
Let's see how this game will span out. But Abdullah, Kandy have been beaten thrice this season, and all 3 times the formula to beating Kandy has been depriving them of possession. And here's Havelock Sports Club setting it up. Lasindu Karnathalika at the back, breaks off now. Big hit on Nigel Ratwate, clear mismatch there. Karnathalika takes Havelock Sports Club into the 22. Vimukti Rahula now. Snipping through the rocks, Asmir Fajruddin with a quick pick and go. Havis now inside the Kandy red zone. First time they've had quality ball. Now it's important, like Abdullah mentioned, that they hold on to the ball, build a few phases, frustrate Kandy, and maybe earn that penalty. Liston Flatney assisting Senal Dilaka. Quick pick and go by the Havis forward. Vimukti Rahul ready to give it out, but Asmir Fajruddin thinks otherwise. That was clearly blocking a player. That was obstruction. Asmir Fajruddin collected that ball behind Vimukti Rahul. If we can have a replay of that infringement, we will clearly see that was a little bit of a brain fade by Fajruddin, because Vimukti Rahul was in front.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Havelocks, really. I don't think it was deliberate. Just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But the referees have been clearly instructed to judge on the action, not the intention.
Take a look at this here. Vimukti Rahul goes in. And now Asmir Fajruddin. Oh, seems like it was Niroshan Fernando, the man who was in front of the defender.
Yes, quite cheeky by Niroshan. Thought it was not intentional, but by the looks of it, very much was. Kandy lose position from that line out. They have position once again. Flatley takes the ball up. Dilaka is in position to take it up again. Kandy's fringe defense right on the ball and been adjudicated for knocking on. So another unforced error by Havelock Sports Club. And it'll be a 1-minute breather in view of the extreme weather conditions that we're experiencing. Just seems to be having an impact on these Havelock's boys as well. We saw on picture Shehan Dilaka on his haunches, taking a few big breaths. But so far, Sudarshan, in this game, it's just that Havelock Sports Club haven't been able to just get their rhythm, isn't it? It's been Kandy Sports Club all the way.
Even though I saw it,
absolutely. And here the referee has taken the quarterly break that's allowed due to difficult weather conditions prevailing here at the Havelock Park. Here's a replay of the first try for Kandy Sports Club. Oshan Pereira straightening things up, and Nigel Ratwate, beautiful body position. Great awareness of where the defense was Vijay Singh missed out on the opportunity of putting the 2 extras, but duly complied when he was asked to add in 3 points from 2 penalties. And Kandy lead 11 points to none. This picture is brought to you on www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, who's celebrating 10 years of sharing the passion this year. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the action from around the country. And what a story it's been, Abdullah.
Yes, what a wonderful decade of sporting excellence, isn't it, in terms of broadcasting, bringing the best coverage of the domestic sports, not just rugby and cricket, but so many other sports as well. We'll come back to that as Roshan Veeratne feeds. Nigel Radwatsa decides to go deep, right into the hands of Randy Silva, but again, not the best passes. Havelock's managing to recover possession. Situm Piris collects the ball, goes into contact.
Offense, roll. No, over there.
Penalized for not rolling away.
19
I
rolls.
think Havelocks were a bit lucky on that occasion. Situm Piris seemed to have been slightly isolated, but fortunately for them, the tackler did not roll away, and that gave the referee the opportunity to blow that for the infringement. Again, Sudarshan, we just saw Randy Silva collecting that ball cleanly, but again not making the correct choice, isn't it, in terms of finding the pass. As we have a look at that infringement once again, I don't think the player who went for the ball did anything wrong, but it was the tackler who did not roll away that was penalized.
Avis now need to make sure that they get that composure right. Going to number 6. Good collection there by Situm Piris. Havis coming away with it. Randy Silva attacking that ball. Risa Mubarak straightening things up for Havelocks. Good defense by Kandy. Had the right to the ball. And that's going to be a penalty. You can protest all you want, but he had the right to the ball. Right on top of that ball. Supporting his own body weight. And Havis guilty of not releasing.
Yes, it's so important to have numbers at the breakdown, especially when you're going wide. The 3 quarters have got to commit themselves to that breakdown first, not worry about the next phase. Because if you don't have those numbers, you're always giving the opposition a chance to poach the ball. And that time it was Chaturanga, the flank forward. What a wonderful player he's been for Havelocks this season. And the good thing about that play was Sudarshana, he clearly showed how he released the tackler and then went for the ball. And the referee did oblige by giving the penalty.
Absolutely great stuff by Chaturanga. Here's Kandy with the charge. Richard Dharmapal, a good tackle on him by Randy Silva. Copybook tackle. Jason Disanaika now tucking the ball in for Kandy Sports Club. Now Mohammad Shabir trying to power his way through the tackle of Dinu Kamarasinghe, his former teammate, but nowhere through. Lasita Tonogoda with a big tackle.
Leave it! Leave it!
That's going to be penalized. Instructions was very, very clear by the referee.
Defense, number 24 rolling.
Number 24 of Havelock Sports Club was the culprit that time. He was asked to leave that ball, but did not obey. That was Faiz Abdullah. Referee wanting to have a word with the captains.
Yes.
No, so that was for number 24 not rolling away. Your guys are challenging, but before they challenge, your tacklers got to roll away first. The challenge was fine, but the first guy's got to roll away. Just take that message back.
Very clear instructions. He says the challenge was fine, but you first got to roll away in order to make sure that you are able to challenge that ball. Very clear instructions. And the referee, next time, this is the second time they've been put on the notice. Next time, I'm sure he won't hesitate to go into the pocket.
That's right, and that communication is so important. So now if we have a look at again, I think it was Randy Silva who, it'll be the next phase. Kanka taking the ball into contact. So it's number 24 on that occasion who did not move away, and that was the infringement. So if you don't move away, you don't create a fair contest. And I think that's what the referee was trying to communicate.
Third penalty attempt for Tilna Vijay Singh. He's come good so far with the first two. Long range kick and hits the post. Ball is still in play, remember. Beautiful collection by the Kandy flanker. That was Shahan Pathiran, I believe. But nasty collision with Dinu Kamarasinghe. Now Kandy trying to attack on the sides. Remember, you got to be aware of where the ball is when it comes to a penalty, because it's live play. Kandy offloading. Still on the ranks. Roshan Veeraratne goes in. Ball still available for Kandy Sports Club. Shahan Pathiran now on it. Needs support. Isolated there. That's going to be another penalty in favor of Kandy Sports Club.
Rock. Your guy was...
Very clear instructions by the referee. Havis are struggling with the discipline, Abdullah, like you mentioned time and time again. Maybe they are not ready to play in this all-important encounter. A lot of pressure coming into these kind of games. But to be fair, Kandy haven't been in this position as well. They haven't played a decider in ages. Because the last time I can remember was back in 2016, where Havelock Sports Club travelled up to Nittavela. Here they are playing away from home as well. So Kandy also had that pressure coming into that game. So they've managed to keep a lid on that pressure and make sure that they get into their rhythm and game plan as better than Havelock Sports Club.
Yeah, that's right, Sudarshana. But also I think it's the winning habit, isn't it? Kandy just know how to win league titles. All these players have experience of doing that year in, year out over the last so many years. So that experience will definitely come into play. But again, we've just got to keep in mind that rugby is an 80-minute game. And we always see how Havelocks do come back in that second half.
Havis doing well to disrupt Kandy Small. Now the Kandy line in motion. Cutting back inside is Richard Dharmapala in space now. Can he go all the way? Inches away, and Richard Dharmapala will score. What a brilliant try. Individual brilliance by the skipper himself for Kandy Sports Club. Broke 4 tackles to go down under the post, and that try would have really entered the spirits of Havelock Sports Club.
That's right. What wonderful footwork. Once we see the replay, we'll be able to adjudicate on that. Just his ability to move sideways and take off at such tremendous pace, making such a big difference. And Dharmapala, come the big games, has definitely stepped up. And we have a look at that replay once again. We'll be able to see at what pace he comes into the line. Sees that there is no overlap out wide. He saw the entire Havelock's defense drifting across, identifying the space in the center of the field and using his quick footwork to go over. So Tilna Vijay Singh just slotting the conversion over, and they further extended that lead.
Regulation kick for Tilna Vijay Singh, right underneath the post, making it look so easy. But take a look at this replay. Ratwate to Oshan, gives it to Dharmapala. 4 tackles broken, 5th one coming here. 6, 7 men trying to stop Richard Dharmapala right underneath the post. What brilliant work from the Kandy skipper. That would have given his team a lot of confidence. Mubarak with the restart, not cleanly collected by Kandy. That's going to be a penalty. Taranju Chaturanga collecting the ball in front of Soiru Anthony, who touched the ball first in an offside position. Good. Now Havis, do they go for 3 points or do they go for touch? Is going to be an interesting decision, but in my view, yes, they are going for touch, which I think is a good decision, Abdullah. Yes, there is plenty time remaining, but I think Havis is looking at trying to get that confidence back into their side, because their rolling maul has been very effective throughout this season with Azmir Fajruddin at the back. Here's another view of that brilliant try. We're back on to live action. Havis dropping the ball from that maul, not managing to hold on to it. Now ThePapare is carrying the ball forward. Havis in Kandy's red zone. Second time they've actually come here on a attacking phase. They need to make sure that they build plenty spaces. Senaldi losing the ball forward. This has been the story so far this game. Danush Kuranjan trying to create a counter, finally brought down. Veeratna, quick ball out to Jason Disanaika, breaks first, pushes off the first tackle. Not a very good pass to Nigel Ratwate, who manages to hold on to it. Brilliant break, needs support, has Pereira. Oh, well, seems like that was a forward pass. A lot of people clearly unhappy about that call, but it did look like it was a forward pass. The ball did look like it traveled forward, but what a break by Nigel Ratwate. The awareness, take a look at this replay, knows exactly where the space is. Has been the unsung hero for Kandy Sports Club this season. Remember, he's filling those boots of Fasil Marija. He's made sure that Fasil's absence was not noticed in this Kandy team.
Well, at least in the last few games, he's definitely stepped up, hasn't he? He's had a blind of a half an hour today. Just stepped up. You'd want your big game players, your experienced players to stand up in these big games. And that's exactly what he has done. But again, you've got to question the Havelock's defense as well, isn't it, Sudarshan? They just seem to be very flat-footed. Even that try where Dharmapala scored, they just seem to be drifting across without worrying about those inside channels. And once you do that, you always leave yourself exposed for the cut in, which Dharmapala did repeatedly to go over.
Set!
And also, Nigel Ratwate managing to come through that guard dog position. There was no guard dog present there near that rock. I think that's an effect of Kandy spreading their attack. Chamara Dabere with a very good carry that time. Tikshana Disanaika doing the halfback duties. Havis desperately need to build faces. Liston Flatney with a carry. Good defensive work by Darling and Jason Disanaika. Sharo Fernando tucking the ball in for Havelock Sports Club. Now here's Umesh Madhushan. Good contest there yet again. Shehan Patirana right on his feet. Brilliant work. Abdullah Faiz can fret all he wants, but Shehan Patirana copybook stuff.
Well, it's the big players again standing up at crucial moments, isn't it? We saw Nigel Ratwate do his part. Shehan Patirana being fabulous for Kandy Sports Club this season. Again over that ball, just wonderful technique to stay on his feet, showing tremendous strength as well as technique. And you can see that Havelocks are making the changes quite earlier on than they would have liked.
Interesting change that, taking the skipper out. Sandesh Jayavikrama coming in in place of Niroshan Fernando.
He's off. Thank you.
Just look at the wonderful technique and the ability to read the play, what's in front of him by Shehan Patirana. Got a very firm base, went out and ensured that he stays on his feet to manage to get that penalty for his team. So some interesting substitutions, isn't it? They brought in some fresh legs pretty early on by their standards. Niroshan Fernando, the skipper, has been taken out. Former Peterite Sandesh Jayavikram has come into that fly half position. And also, more importantly, they have made that crucial change at scrum half position as well. Hapugoda has come into that position. As you see, Kandy launching another attack. Lavanga Pereira going into the wider channels.
Hold. You're diving.
That time Moshan Pereira was guilty of diving over that ball. But very well done by Randy Silva, managing to hold on to a tiny corner of Randy's jersey. Risa Mubarak with the touch, and for a second I thought the drone was in danger. We have a couple of drones hovering around the grounds, and Risa Mubarak's kick slightly missed one. But Havelock Sports Club need to make sure that they try and play as much rugby as they can in the Kandy half, and they hold on to possession.
Big move.
Crowds filling up slowly but surely. Havis opting to go to the second pod. Here's Sandesh with his first touch to Dinuk Amarasinghe. Amarasinghe, good carry, back of the hand, pass to Dabare. Dabare finds space on the outside, and great yards earned by Dabare. Sandesh opting to pick and go. Lovely offload to his left. Now to Zaba.
High tackle, number 8.
Referee playing advantage for a high tackle. Mohammad Shabir, the culprit that time. Havis yet again with a penalty.
They've
Now,
got to go for
I
the
think
points.
absolutely, yes, this time around, I think they need to go for points.
Because they know that they have the ability to come into their own in that second half. And if they can just get points and just keep this deficit within reach, that will hold them in good stead. But seem to have taken the other option. Let's hope for their sake that it does work out.
There you go. That's where they get penalized. Going in for those seatbelt tackles are always dangerous, with the laws very strict on high tackles. Now the onus is on Fajruddin and co to make sure that they get a very good line out. That time again missing things out. Errors after errors for Havelock Sports Club. Yaqub Ali, good carry by him. These errors are definitely frustrating the Park Club and taking a lot of energy out of them.
Havelocks just haven't settled down to this game so far, hasn't it? You have to question some of their decision making, not just in terms of taking the penalties, but even in terms of their general playing patterns. Sometimes tend to wonder whether they are going too wide too early. It's an area where Kandy are very comfortable in defending, and where Havelock's strength generally is trying to play the game at close quarters to try and draw the defense in before they unleash their attack out wide.
Yet again another overthrow. Luckily Mithun Hapugoda was there to collect it for Havelocks. So the line out, which has been one of their weapons, not functioning very well for the Park Club men. Asmir Fajruddin carrying it for Havis. Mithun now gives it to Sandesh. The halfback combination is brand new for Havis. Mithun to Amarasinghe. Very well tackled by Pereira. Mithun changes direction to Lahir. Well. Errors are piling up for Havelock Sports Club, and Kandy clearly winning these early exchanges.
That's right, but also on that occasion, you have to give a lot of credit to the Kandy defense. Their defensive organization has been superb so far. They do realign themselves very well from phase defense. And what Havelocks need to do, and with Mithun Hapugoda there as well, to try and speed the game up now. Quick ball from the breakdowns to try and feed their three quarters against a less structured Kandy defense. Because that's the only way they're going to try and get any points on the board.
I don't know, Abdullah, whether speeding things up would be the ideal call for Havis currently, because I think they're struggling with the pace of the game, and referee decides that it's time for half time. Why I say that, Abdullah, is because Havis have struggled to keep on to pace of Kandy. So maybe what they can do is try and slow things down, build those phases. They're very good at keeping the ball in close quarters to try and build 8 to 9 phases. We haven't seen them doing that. They've, like you mentioned earlier, they've tried to swing it out wide a little too early. Maybe that's costing them. What they need to do is try and build a couple of phases, and then Mithun Apagoda can come into the game, try and snipe through those close quarters.
Yes, I agree with you, Sudarshan. What I meant is that when they do create phase ball, even if they do decide to attack at close quarters, they have to try and do it at a certain pace. Because currently what's happening, it's being done at such a slow pace, it's giving that Kandy defense time to sort themselves out and organize themselves. So those are the little adjustments that they will need to do, and I'm sure that will be talked about at halftime. And now this second 40 minutes, Sudarshan, this is where everything can happen. It could go one way or the other, as if the previous encounter is anything to go by.
Here's the first try coming up for you by Kandy Sports Club. Pereira offloading to Ratwatte, touching down, and then Tilna Vijayasinghe converted 2 penalties to take the Kandy lead to 12 points. And then came this absolutely brilliant try from Richard Dharmapala. Steps left, steps right, breaks 3 tackles. Take a look at this, too strong for 2 men right underneath the post. The skipper, and was a regulation kick for Tilna Vijayasinghe to take Kandy to 18 points to 0. And as the score stands now, Kandy in a comfortable lead in the first half of this all-important Club Rugby League decider. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the second half action of Havelock versus Kandy Sports Club.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves, only from Crescent.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරේදී කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry, මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි, කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Crunchy Munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites, only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry! මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි. අපේ ගෙදර හැමෝටම ඉන්ටනෙට් ඕනේ. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි රවුටරේ නිසා ගෙදරදි කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් ගියත් පැකේජ් එක එකයි. ඒත් ගෙදරින් එළියට ගියාම හැමෝටම පැකේජ් එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්ද? Hey Barry! මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් පැකේජ් එක තියෙන්නේ. ලංකාවේ කොහේ ගියත් රවුටරේ ගෙදර තියෙද්දි ගෙදර හැමෝටම එකම පැකේජ් එකෙන් වෙන වෙනම ඉන්ටනෙට් යන්න පුළුවන් එකම ක්‍රමය. මොබිටෙල් වයිෆයි ප්ලස් විතරයි. ඒ විතරක් නෙමේ. එක බිලයි කනෙක්ෂන්ස් ගොඩයි.
Welcome back to the live action of the second half of Havelock Sports Club taking on Kandy here at the league decider of Dialogue Rugby League 2018-19 and Ratwatte restarting proceedings, Lasindu Karnatilaka. Now this is why Abdullah called him in the likes of Sins and Brook, the former All Black number 8. Not many of this generation would remember Sins and Brook, Abdullah, but what a number 8 he was.
Yes, pretty much the all-round number 8, if ever there was one. Lasindu Ishan's got all the skills to match him. Just probably needs to improve his decision-making a bit, and he would be right up there. So Kandy again winning a good line out at the start, deciding to go wide. Again, Dharmapala straightening it out. Jason fumbling but taking it into contact.
A little bit of a juggle there by Jason, but managing to hold on to a possession. Yaqub Ali taking the ball forward. Now Ratwatte gives it to Vijay Singh, puts in a little dink. Shehan Patirana had the ball in his hand for a moment, and if he had collected that ball, Havis would have been in trouble early in this second half, but luckily for them, Patirana losing that ball out. Kandy also have decided to bring in replacements. Mohammad Shapir, I'm quite surprised that he's been taken out because he had a terrific first half, first 30 minutes. Hishan Kallara has come in place of Shabir, a massive player, so Kandy might be looking to add in those extra pressure when it comes to scrum time through Kallara, and Kallara also is one of those preferred ball carriers for Kandy. Good steady scrum from Havelock Sports Club as Sandesh puts the ball high up, comes right to the hands of Dharmapala. Kandy quick to send it out. Bilwara has come in as well for Kandy. Randy Silva yet again guilty of falling over the rock. It's the second time he's been found guilty of doing that, so he needs to be very, very careful. Havis have given away too many penalties and they've made more mistakes in this game.
Yes, that's where experience comes in. You had Kandy under a lot of pressure on the back foot. They just needed to hold their lines, not do anything extravagant. but just trying to force the issue once again, probably again Sudarshana, that experience factor, or the lack of it rather, showing from Havelock's part.
Remember, Havelock Sports Club are currently the leaders, table toppers, with 77 points to their name, so all they need is a draw here. As Kandy with an attacking line out inside the Havis 22. Good line out, but equally well defended by Havelock Sports Club, managing to sack the ball straight away. Veerabna to Kalhara's first touch. Good secure carry by Kalhara. Now Ratwatte with a little dink. Mithun Hapuguda calls mark. Very good decision making by the Nipi scrum half. Now Amar Singh gives it out to the Abari, who straightens things back, cuts back in. Ratwatte trying to turn that ball over, has no way. Sharo Fernando now. Good tackle coming in on Fernando by Heshan Kalhara. But yet again guilty of diving over the ball. Terrific call by the referee, who was right on the mark. You can be the team that's attacking, but doesn't give you the right to kill the ball. You need to make sure that the ball is made available.
Yes, that's one of the areas where we have seen the difference between the local refs and the foreign refs. As we have a look at that once again, Shara Fernando taking the ball, thumping tackle by Kalhara, but you can see there Shaukat Lahir just not supporting his body weight. He's asking, is it me? Well, there was no one else who was not supporting their body weight there. So it's just the interpretation, and the more these players learn by being adjudicated by these referees, they'll just become better rugby players, because otherwise they go into the international arena and they'll be caught or rather blown up for these infringements repeatedly.
Difference in the experience and decision making. Kandy straight away doing the right thing, opting to get those 3 points on offer, and Tilna Vijay Singh duly obliges, increases his tally to 183 points, 85 points rather, this season. Slowly but surely catching up on Samuel Madhuanta. He had a game where he collected 24 points. Can he repeat that today? We will have to wait and see. Tilna touchdown thrice in that game, but Havis will really be hoping that it doesn't happen here.
Yes, well, if he does come any close to that individual tally, Sudarshan, it will go a long way in ensuring that Kandy do win this league title this year. As we can see, Sharo Fernando making his way onto the bench, and he's been...
Referee not happy with the substitutions being done at the restart. He urges that the substitutions be done earlier, not wait till the restart is in motion. Kalhara with a carry. Ishan Kalhara is going to be plenty to handle around those fringes. Now Kandy opting to go wide. Vijay Singh kicking for territory. And that's a terrific kick. That's a brilliant kick by Vijay Singh. Good thinking by Nigel Ratwatte. He recognized that the angle was better for Vijay Singh to go for that kick. And Vijay Singh putting it in space brilliantly.
Yes, Kandy playing with supreme confidence now, isn't it, Sudarshana? The decision making is very clear. The execution has been immaculate. Havelocks just haven't been able to get any headway in this game. They've had a couple of opportunities to try and get some points on the board, which they didn't take. And so far, Kandy just seem to have everything going their way.
Here's Havelock Sports Club with a defensive line out. Finally looks to have settled it down. Asmir Fajruddin at the back. They will try and drive it as much as they can. They need to make... Truck and trailer. So nothing going the Havis way. This is an area Havis had the upper hand over almost every single other club during this season, but when things go wrong, everything tends to go wrong, isn't it, Abdullah? And Havis this time guilty of not sending that ball quickly enough And I don't understand why they held on to that ball, because remember, once you get out of the 22, it's difficult for the kicker as well. He can't kick it out in full. Here's the replay. Asmir Fajuddin there, Truck and Taylor.
Yes, very clear. Again, the interpretation spot on. Players have just got to know the rules more clearly when you're executing those kind of plays. Danushka Ranjan has been far more comfortable in his outside center position today. Offensively, hasn't had a lot to do, but his defensive work has been very good. So another real attacking opportunity for Kandy, just about 8 meters outside their own try line.
Uchita Dayasuri is put in, is cleanly collected by Jason Disanaika. Here's Yeshan Kalhar, a big man going into the 5 meters. Veeratna inside pass to Soiru Anthony, inches away from the try line. Veeratna managing to scavenge that ball. Nigel now inside the rucks, marshalling his forwards. Gives it to Jason Disanaika. Kandy knocking on the door of Havelock Sports Club for another try. Going into the short side. Yaqub Ali.
Please now, pick.
Pereira arriving as the acting halfback. Now ball comes out for Kandy Sports Club. Jason Disanaika
No.
goes for the line. Short pass to Yaqub Ali, nowhere through Zaba. His offload to Nigel Ratwate was not cleanly collected, but Tilna Vijay Singh there to collect the ball. Good work by Kandy Sports Club, managing to hold on to possession. Big carry by Eshan Kalhar, going through the short side, and there will be a penalty holding on. He was isolated. Good work done there by, I believe it was Lasindu Ishan who was on top of that ball that time. So Havis with an opportunity to get out of jail.
Yes, you can see clearly why they have decided to bring the big man Heshan Kalhar off the bench, isn't it? His ability to carry is very strong ball carrier, and he has had an impact whenever he has had the ball in his position today. So good touch finder by Havelocks. As we have a look at that replay once again. Dharmapala just trying to clear up, but then Kalhara once again bumping off a couple of players, but just getting isolated, and some good work by Havelocks to try to get that penalty.
Asmir Fajuddin with the line out. Good throw to the third pod. Zaba taking the ball forward. Shaukat Lahir now with a quick pick and go for Havis, trying to create quick faces. They need to focus on holding on to position, Havelocks. Now Silva puts the ball the boot, and Tilna Vijay Singh securely ushers it to the touch line.
No, touched by them.
It's a nice little grubber kick by number 13, Randy Silva. Just identifying the space behind. Unfortunately, the ball just going out of play. Havelocks will do well to try and steal this ball. If possible, it'll give them a great attacking opportunity, but Kandy's line out has been spot on today.
Not straight, says the referee. I think he was prompted by his assistant on the sideline. So Havis with an important opportunity here. And also there's been a substitution. Number 1 for Kandy Sports Club, Bashan Darling, being replaced by Lasita Attanagoda. So Kandy wanting to make sure that they have fresh legs in the park for the second half. 51 minutes on our clock, and what a game it has been. Kandy Sports Club currently dominating the Park Club. 21 points to nil. Havis have a big uphill task, and they need to try and start now if they are to try and stage a comeback. Lasindu breaks on the short side. Hapugoda to Lahir, who takes the ball in for Havelock Sports Club. Now Situm Piris. Zaba.
Really?
Nowhere to go with the Kandy defense, very well organized around the fringes, managing to push them back, and Jason Disanayaka comes away with possession. Havis will be pulling their hair, and Nigel Ratwate clears the ranks for Kandy Sports Club.
That's what I was talking about, Sudarshan, a bit earlier on. It was all way too slow. They've got to try, and even if they're trying to attack on the fringes, it's got to be at a slightly higher rate, because it's so slow that it's giving Kandy enough time to realign their defense around the fringes, and they are unable to make any headway. So it's a bit of a tough call for Havelocks, but they've got to make an impression in terms of trying to speed up the game. Now, I don't think they have any other choice.
Fajruddin's throw is cleanly collected by Piris. Now Havis trying to swing it out wide. Dino Kamarasingha's offload finds no one. Dabare cutting back inside, trying to attack. Hapugoda gives it to Lahir. Lahir is isolated, but luckily for Havis, there was no one marking that man.
Leave it now, leave it, leave.
That's going to be a penalty coming in from the side. Hapugoda taking it quickly. This is the urgency that Abdullah was talking about, and Hapugoda, the man to provide it, gives it to Sandesh to the corner. Dabare, good tackle on Dabare. Referee still playing advantage, not 10 meters by Kandy. That's turned over, but referee will bring back play for the initial infringement of not going 10 meters. I think Havis at least now need to go for those 3 points, Abdullah. Or they need to try and control this scrum that they've opted for and try and finish it off. It's a good move, good thinking by them. They want to make sure that they get that 7 points, but I think they've given away approximately 9 points.
Who?
15 fullback.
15.
Right. But I think you can see what Hapugoda is trying to do. I think his decision making in terms of taking the quick taps is the correct call now, because now Havelocks have just got to throw the kitchen sink at Kandy. They have no option. They're just trying to reduce the pace of the game. It just hasn't worked. And I think now probably a bit of fatigue could be setting in Kandy as well. So maybe trying to up the tempo of the game may not be a bad idea.
Sandesh Jayavikrama trying to take it to the line. Gets inside the 5 meters. Now it's up to the Havis forwards to grind away. Mithun Hapugoda trying to snipe through, and that's a high tackle. Referee playing advantage. Kandy could lose one of their players. Now the Havis forwards stopped inches away. Fajruddin lucky to have not knocked that ball forward. Good defensive work by Kandy. Havis grinding, and that's going to be their first try. Coming away with it is Situm Piris for Havelock Sports Club.
Well, could this be the start of a comeback by Havelocks, Sudarshana? We've seen that in the previous game. There's still over 24 minutes to go. Could see Kandy making a few errors. It's just something they do when fatigue tends to set in. Again, Mithun Hapugoda evaluating the options. Kandy making a few good tackles. Situm Piris doing just enough to get over the line.
Terrific capture by ThePapare.com's cameramen who are around the grounds. Kudos to the production team as well for bringing you those brilliant pictures from the ground view. Risa Mubarak with a chance to add 2 more points, and terrific kick by Risa. 7 points to 21. 2 more converted tries, and we have a game in our hands.
Yes, and 2 more converted tries is all Havelock's need. We have to keep that in mind as well. A draw will do just fine in terms of their aspirations of annexing the league this year. As we have a look at that wonderful kick by Mubarak.
But have a chat with number 31. Okay, sir. Be careful.
Just seeing Hapugoda coming in and having that impact on this Havelock's team is just amazing, isn't it, Sudarshana? He just upped the pace of the game. You could see that the Kandy defense is on their toes whenever he does have the ball. Just that experience in terms of making the correct decisions is also such a big part of it. Ishan collects comfortably, takes it into contact. Again, Lema. Brilliant by Patirana. You've got to question where the Havelock supporting players were, isn't it, Sudarshan? There was no one there to support Lasindu Ishan when he went into contact. Absolute lapse of concentration. And
terrible, isn't it? You just score a try. You need to make sure that you hold on to position and put as much pressure as you can on Kandy Sports Club. But Kandy, on the other hand, doing very well to commit themselves to that chase and put Lasindu Karnathalika under a lot of pressure. Now, this line out is going to be very important. Here's the tackle on Lasindu. Nobody around to clear that ranks, and yet again Shahan Patirana. Beautiful technique. What a player he's been for Kandy. Has been the pack leader for Kandy Sports Club and has done beautiful, brilliant work. He's a jumper, he's a lifter in the line out as well, and when it comes to loose play, gets around very well.
Stay on, White, stay up.
Kandy Sports Club now with a brilliant opportunity. Lasindu Karnathalika. Quickly taken by Mithun Hapugoda. Hapugoda has one man to beat, but very good covering work by Tilna Vijay Singh. Havis sending it out wide. Have options. Riza Mubarak cutting back inside. Kandy defense in trouble. Havis need to make sure. Oh my God, what was that pass by Sandesh Jai Vikrama? That's going to be lost forward by Zabar.
No, play on.
Referee consulted the assistant referee whether it was a knock on, but referee Veranga giving the confirmation that it was all good. Now Havis playing for territory and have put the ball in space. But that was what Abdullah was yearning for. Show some urgency and you will find the gaps.
Yes, now you can see the fatigue levels also creeping into Kandy's games, making a few very rare errors. Again, Hapugoda, that man, what an impact he has made since he has come off the bench. Just identifying the space, forcing Havelock's, or rather Kandy, to take that ball into touch. So great attacking opportunity if they can just get some good clean ball here.
Well, it's all happening here at the Havelock Park. Asmir Fajruddin to throw in 10 meters away from the Kandy whitewash. That's an overthrow. This is not what the doctor ordered for Havelock Sports Club. The line out, which has been one of their most potent weapons, have been malfunctioning today, and that has had a very, very big effect on the scoreline. 7 points to 21. Kandy in the lead. But Havis need to make sure that they get the little things right. Fajruddin, maybe, like you mentioned, he's no stranger when it comes to the big games, as you will be able to witness the 102nd Hill Country Battle of the Blues. Trinity College taking on St. Anthony's on the 8th and 9th of March at Karagastara. On www.thepapare.com. Here's Havelock Sports Club coming away with another one. Hapugoda unfortunately missing it out. spilling it forward, so that's going to be a loss forward in favor of Kandy. Kandy fans now a little anxious. They've seen their team squander enough leads this season. They've seen their team lose out 3 games. Unfamiliar territory for Kandy fans. Very unfortunate there for Mithun Hapugode. If he could have made that offload to Dinu Kamarasinghe, that was a try coming for all money for the Park Club. Kandy will want to get out of jail as soon as possible because Savis have played quite a bit of rugby in their half. Coming at the back to Tilna Vijay, who puts in a kick to Riza Mubarak. Mubarak has nobody to collect the quick throw. Quick restart. That's what's important, isn't it, Abdullah? If somebody had trekked back with Riza Mubarak, he could have immediately started off the counter.
Yes, but again, what a wonderful touch find by Tilna Vijay Singh as well. He's taken the game into Havelock's half. It's just those kind of clearance kicks that just gives your forwards so much of impetus. So another crucial line out for Havelocks.
Fajruddin yet again opting to go to number 6. This time, luckily, he finds the hand of Situm Piris. Mubarak cleaning up for Havelock Sports Club. Jai Vikrama gives it to Lahir. Hapugode now to Fajruddin. Fajruddin looks for options and decides to go himself. Now Hapugode gives it to Abdullah. Faiz Abdullah carrying the ball forward. Open play. Shahan Pathan doing very well. Was isolated for a little while.
Leave it now. Turnover good.
But Tavi is managing to turn the ball over. Umesh Madhushan, not a great pass. Kandy managing to push Tavi's back. Yeah. But coming in from the side, says the referee. So have penalty in favor of Havelock Sports Club. Riza Mubarak, realizing that the time is running out quickly, wants to speed things up. 64 minutes on our clock, so 16 more minutes to decide who will be crowned champions of Dialogue Rugby League 2018-19. And Havelock Sports Club need 14 points to make sure that they become the league champions. All they need, like Abdullah mentioned, is a draw here. And they will be able to hold on to that league, which they haven't had the opportunity since 2012-13 season. Maul by Havelock Sports Club. This looks like the best set maul so far this game for the Park Club. Now Hapugode thought about passing it out, but decided to go it himself. Lahir isolated, needs support. Did very well. Silva to Karuna Tilaka. That's going to be lost forward.
Off the hand forward.
Went forward off the hand, and errors piling in for Havelock Sports Club. Errors and indiscipline have costed them 21 points, Abdullah.
That's right, Sudarshana. Again, whenever they do seem to have position in these last few minutes, they seem to have Kandy under a lot of pressure, but again, it's just the execution has let them down. You can see Kandy too making some changes. Roshan Veeratna leaving the field. Big call. Young Jensen from Kingswood College will be taking his place as we have a look at that replay once again. Just the accuracy needed to be a bit better in terms of that pass, but it was not the case.
Fatigue surely seemed to have set in to the Kandy ranks. Here's Jansen to Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh puts the ball high up outside the 22, so Riza cannot kick it out on full. Riza replies with a kick of his own. Underneath it is Jason Disanaika. Disanaika opts to run with the ball. There you go. Off it, trying to get that ball, and Kandy will be very happy to take all the time they need here. Now it boils down to the
33,
game
off
management.
feet.
Abdullah, we are closing in on the final 10 minutes of the game. 14 points in front. Kandy will be looking to slow things down till Vijay Singh. And what a terrific touch finally is that.
Wonderful technique as well. Kept it low and hard. And just finding some good touch just outside the 22. But again, you're talking about game management, and this is where temperament comes in as well. Very clearly not supporting their body weight. Just a little bit of desperation now creeping into Havelock's play.
Kandy with the line out inside, Havis off. And Havelock Sports Club need to be very, very careful, because remember they've gone in for a short man line out. Kandy front field to Jason. Now Richard Dharmapala straightening things up. Good tackle on Dharmapala. Very well marked that time. Ratwate to Pereira. Pereira gives it to Kalhara, who comes crashing forward. Forward pass is the referee, but did look like it was a flat pass from where we are sitting. We'll take a look at the replay if possible. Maybe it's something to do with this subcontinent that all the fat passes are being called forward, whereas in the southern hemisphere, I think we need to take a look at maybe a second earlier on that replay. But Havis with a good opportunity. Center field scrum. Hapaguda to Amar Singh. Amar Singh still on his feet. Good carry by him. To Fajuddin. Referee playing advantage to Havelock Sports Club. Umesh Madhushan with the ball. Hapaguda puts the ball in front, empty space. Couldn't collect it cleanly, so referee will bring play back for the advantage. Very unfortunate for Havelocks. Still battling away. Penalty in favor of the Park Club.
Yes, I think there was a lazy runner. It was one of the Kandy prop forwards impeding the pass. So that's the kick ahead. The bounce just eluding Havelocks. But nonetheless, Riza finds a good touch. Just about 17 meters away from the line. Havelocks just now need to ensure that they get some good clean ball.
Time off.
Now this line out is going to be absolutely crucial for Havelock's chances, because if they need to try and challenge Kandy, they need to do it now. As replacements come in for Kandy Sports Club, Damit Disanaika comes in place of Uchita Jayasuriya, as well as Shashika Javardhana coming in place of Soyuru Anthony. Beg your pardon, Taranju Chaturanga, that is, who is been carried off from the field due to injury. Havis not successfully collecting that line out under pressure. Zaba. Good carry by Zaba. Havis have options on both sides. Hapaguda opting to go for the short side. Sit. Umesh Madhushan still on the move. Couple of meters away, not releasing the tackler. So Havis with advantage. Penalty coming for Havelock Sports Club. What do they do from here? They can either go for a scrum or opt to go to the touchline. Need to make the
Not 10.
Finally decides that they take a quick tap, and a referee playing advantage for Kandy being not 10 meters. Kandy need to refocus, try and settle down. They've been struggling now. Again, another advantage coming in favor of the Park Club. Hapaguda trying to squeeze in another try to his name. Fajruddin doing the halfback duties. Quick ball out. Donik Kamarasinghe will touchdown for Havelock Sports Club. There you go. One try needed now. 71 minutes on our clock. With the conversion to come, Reza Mubarak will have a very, very important conversion here, because if he can convert this, good quick hands, and Dinu Kamarasinghe touching down, brilliant stuff from Havelock Sports Club. And if Reza Mubarak can convert this, Havelocks will be just one try away from the league.
Yes, one converted try, isn't it? And that's where Mubarak has been very good for Havelocks this season. Probably one of the more important conversions that he'll be taking on for Havelocks.
Very well struck, has the distance, but not the direction. So, unfortunately for Havelock Sports Club, they will have to score twice rather, in order to make sure that they annex the Club Rugby League, Dialogue Club Rugby League 2018-19. And Kandy will be looking to make sure that they keep the 9 minutes, that they manage the next 7 minutes rather. Nigel Ratwate with the restart, kicks deep to Mubarak, who has to kick it back. Good decision by Ratwate. Great collection by Andrew de Wilvera, straightening things up. Holding on, says the referee. So Javi is coming away with a penalty.
It's not very clever by Villavara, just going into contact. He knew that his entire support was in front of him. It's just those crucial mistakes in terms of making the correct decisions play such a big part. It's been really scorching conditions today at Havelock Park. As we have a look at that replay once again, he had no one behind him, completely isolated. And Shaukat Lahir again, right over it. Wonderful bit of work by the former Royal flanker. He's been a real impact player for Havelocks this year.
6.5. So you need to tell your team.
Everyone is on their toes now.
Keep shouting at me about time, yeah?
Havelocks need to score twice. See the fatigue setting into Kandy Sports Club. They're making some really uncharacteristic errors. It's something that teams tend to do when fatigue sets in.
Sri Lanka Tour of South Africa 2019 currently happening. The first one day still going on. And Sri Lanka has been all out for 231 runs in the first ODI. All the action will be covered on www.thepapare.com/cricket, as we will be covering our Lions trying to make a comeback from a very, very poor run of form, as Havelock Sports Club gains important yards through Reza Mubarak's touch finder. Just over 6 minutes remaining in this crucial encounter. Fajruddin to throw in, collected cleanly by Havelock Sports Club, not managing to hold on to the ball that they wanted to create. Faiz Abdullah with the carry. Here's Umesh Madhushan. He's been one of those standout players for Havelock Sports Club. Zaba. Nowhere to go with the Kandy defense. Holding solid around the fringes. Havelocks on the 5th phase now.
White, stay!
Now on to the short side. Sandesh gives it out wide. Javi is looking for space around the park.
Hey, over there, over there!
Quickly taken penalty, but referee says take it from the mark. Risa Mubarak will be looking to go to the touchline. Havis, whatever they do, they need to make sure that they do it quickly because they have to score twice in order to make sure that they win this game or try and draw it.
Crucial line out here. Azmir Fajuddin has been excellent for Havelocks.
Good sack coming in from Kandy, not letting Havelock settle down. Faiz Abdullah. Good tackle by Jason Dissanayake. Yet again Kandy with an error of penalty. That's a great interception by Shehan Pathirina, but referee was playing advantage for that high tackle. So Havis now with another opportunity. Just over 4 minutes to go on our clock. And what a game this is turning out to be, Abdullah. It's pretty much like
Captain.
a replay of the previous game which is played against these two teams here at Havelock Park. Just that Havis were in front at that opportunity, whereas Kandy was trailing. But the roles have reversed. Can Havis do something different? We'll have to wait and see.
Mubarak takes the short tap. Lahir carries the ball into contact. Hapugoda feeds the ball on. Going into contact again. Fajuddin is lined up, but Lasindu Ishan is also there, but Kandy seem to have organized their defense extremely well. Havelocks just unable to get in over that gain line. Zaba goes into contact once again, but very strong around the fringes is Kandy Sports Club. Good defense once again. Havelocks just trying to inch their way forward. Sawyer Anthony making a tackle. Havelocks yet have possession of the ball. Again attacking through the fringes.
It's the first time Havelock Sports Club have managed to build these kind of phases here in this game, despite Kandy defending brilliantly. Attanagoda had to get away from there. Referee now playing advantage to Havelock Sports Club. Havis with a penalty advantage coming. They need to speed things out and decide what they want to do. Sandesh Jaivikrama going in with the ball. The referee decides that there was no advantage. Not rolling away. Hapugoda opting to take the ball quickly.
No, that's fine. Playing on no.
5 meters away from the try line, Havis. Time quickly running out. Will this be a little too late for Havelock Sports Club? Cries for a high tackle, but referee says it's okay.
Against what?
Lahir. Now to Sabah. Kandy defense have been solid around. Advantage to Havelock Sports Club for advantage to Havelock Sports Club. Seems like it was a high tackle. Referee wanted to have with the AR 5 meter penalty.
Number 7 white. High tackle. Yes. So.
Yeah.
So
31.
31. 31.
31.
Tackle. Yeah, okay. Hold on. High tackle, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, Captain. 31.
Yaqub Ali given a yellow card and will not play any part of this game, any more part in this game, as we go through the dying seconds, full time on our clock. Couple of minutes maybe remaining in referee's clock. Havis on the try line, attacking the Kandy line, looking for that all-important try. Kandy reduced to 14 men. Can they hold on? 12 points to 21. Still short. Lasidu Karnataleka twisting and turning, looking for space to go through. Hapugoda has Fajuddin now. Sends it all out wide. Stopped inches away. Referee still playing advantage to Havelock Sports Club, so they have a penalty advantage coming. Kandy found offside. Hapugoda gives it to Saba. Saba has no way through Shashika Javardhan. A quick pick and go from Piris. Hapugoda scores a try for Havelock Sports Club. 17 points to 21 with the conversion to come. Will this be full time? We will have to wait and see. Risa Mubarak checked with the referee, and seems like with the conversion it will be full time. Mubarak's conversion, if it's successful, will be bringing Havelocks to 19 points. And that's the end of the game. Consolation try for Havelock Sports Club, and Kandy Sports Club will remember this one, especially 5th consecutive league champions. They had to grind it out here at Havelock Park, Abdullah, and they've done it in such style.
You have to give a lot of credit to that defensive effort by Kandy. Although they eventually conceded a try, that defensive effort just ran the clock down, and eventually they just did not have any time to make that final score. So full credit to Kandy Sports Club. It's been a tough season. They've really been tested this year by not just Havelocks, by many other clubs as well. Remember, they lost that crucial encounter against Army Sports Club at their home ground, something that hadn't happened for a long time. But eventually they just managed to regroup together and just see this campaign through, and have won the league title once again for the 5th consecutive year. So a lot of kudos to their coaching staff, their management, and of course their players. It's been a wonderful effort by them. Especially it's amazing the way the senior players stood out today. Nigel Ratwata, Lema Patirana, Richard Dharmapala, Roshan Veeraratna, they were absolutely fantastic today. They just held this team together and played such a big part.
Abdullah, with all the excitement of the league being decided in this game, we've forgotten to adjudicate the player of the match. And like you mentioned, some terrific performances from a couple of Kandy senior players who really stood up to this game. Nigel Ratwate was a standout player, and then we had the likes of Richard Dharmapala, the skipper himself, who contributed with a try. But in my opinion, I think throughout the game, for being such a terrific workhorse and his workload, Shahan Patirina deserves the Player of the Match award today, because he was all around the park.
Absolutely, Sudarshan. I don't think we can argue with that. As you said, his work rate, the amount of turnovers he managed to create was absolutely fantastic. And of course, an honorable mention to Nigel Ratwata as well. I thought his game management was excellent. But yes, can't argue with that judgment of Shehan Patrina being adjudicated as the man of the match.
Here's the final few phases. Havelock Sports Club was grinding their way through. That actually was the first try of Havis. trying to make a comeback. Riza Mubarak duly obliged with a terrific conversion, and Dino Kamarasinghe was the man to touch down next for the second try for Havis. Riza unfortunately missing out on the conversion. Remember, if all 3 tries were converted, Havis would have annexed the league for this year. And the final try coming through Mithun Hapugoda. And rightly so, Abdullah. What a difference he made every time he came onto the field. Throughout this season, he's been the standout player for Havis this season.
Yeah, that's right. As we have a look at the final analysis, Havelocks actually have outscored Kandy in terms of tries, just the 3 penalty goals, making the difference eventually for Kandy Sports Club, which again, Sudarshan, you have got to go back and question. In that first half, they had 2 very kickable kicks, which Havelocks did not take. Could that have been the difference in the final analysis? We probably will never know, but we were discussing it at that time on commentary, whether they should have gone for the post.
And also, especially Abdullah, especially given the fact that they have the likes of Riza Mubarak in their ranks, why not go for that 3 points? Because that's what Kandy did. Whenever points came knocking, they were up there to take it. So that's the reason why they are winning the league. They'll win it by 3 points, and Havis will really rue the chances that they missed.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, we've got to give a lot of credit to Havelocks as well. I thought not many players, rather spectators, followers of the game, gave them much of a chance this year, but some of the younger players really stood out. You've got guys like Dino Kamarasinghe, Shaukat Lahir was brilliant whenever he came off the bench, and of course Mithun Hapugoda, the experienced campaigner, whenever he came onto the ground, he always seemed to have made an impact. But nonetheless, it sets us up for a terrific knockout that will start next week. CHNFC, CRNFC have run into a bit of form. You cannot rule out Police Sports Club and Army Sports Club as well. So I think all in all, much more to look forward to in terms of club rugby. And I think overall, it'll be a fantastic end to what has been a wonderful season.
Terrific season it has been, and has been one of the most interesting seasons that we've seen of late, especially given the fact that some of the teams who started very slowly, Abdullah, managed to capitalize on the second round. Teams like CHNFC, Police Sports Club. Police were actually at the bottom of the table come the second round, but at the end of the second round, they managed to become the plate champions, beating Army Sports Club. So that's what's possible in this league. And it's brilliant to see that we have so much competition, and also this being a league decider. It's been a while since we've had a league decider boiling into the final week of this Dialogue Rugby League, Abdullah. And special mention, I think, needs to be given to the organisers, because the super round has actually added so much of interest into this league.
Yeah, that's right. It's just taken it to another level, hasn't it? But if it had ended in the normal league phase, then probably Havelock Sports Club would have ended as winners. But it is what it is. And you have to give a lot of credit to Kandy Sports Club, because they were put under a lot of pressure this year, Sudarshana. But eventually they managed to prevail. And it's just that winning mentality, knowing how to win the big games. That's what just seemed to have made a difference for this team.
Coming back to the point you raised, Havelock Sports Club lost some players in very key positions. They lost their scrum half, the 2 centres, mind you, and still managed to come up with a terrific performance where they end up as the runners of the league. Some standout young players in their ranks, in the likes of Asmir Fajruddin, Dino Kamarasinghe, Randy Silva, who I thought was brilliant in the last games, will really take this performance to note, and they will want to make sure that they have brilliant careers in the coming years with the Park Club.
That's right. It's probably, you could term it as a rebuilding phase for Havelock Sports Club, but for them to have made this this far, I think you have to give a lot of credit to all concerned. And the season is not yet over. There is still a knockout tournament to be played as well. So in a knockout tournament, it's just on the day kind of performance that will matter. So there are so many teams that could contend for that. So I think we are in for a wonderful finale for this rugby season.
Also reminding you that today we brought to you this brilliant game of club rugby while bringing you the action of Isipatana Thurston one-day encounter and also the Battle of the Maroons Anand and Nalanda, which I'm sure some of you would have been very interested in. And come next week, we have three big matches coming to you. Royal playing St. Thomas's for the longest continuing cricket encounter in the world, mind you. And Jaffna Central taking on St. Patrick's, that coming to you from the Northern Peninsula. And also Trinity College playing St. Anthony's up in Kandy for the 102nd Hill Country Battle of the Blues. And also at the meantime, it's going to be a terrific March for all sports enthusiasts in Sri Lanka. Schools rugby also have commenced. We've had an interesting opening week. I think the most entertaining game was St. Peter's versus St. Thomas's, where Pete Trites led 20 minutes into the first half, 14-0, and Tomians made a comeback with winning the game 19 points to 21.
Yeah, same score, and it was pretty much the same pattern as today's match, wasn't it, Sudarshana? So, yes, schools rugby season has started as well. So the rugby action from domestically will just keep on going, and the Papare will always be there to give those live cup pictures. So I think all the rugby fans around the country can stay glued to thepapare.com for some wonderful rugby action. It's been a wonderful league tournament as well. So I'm sure the schools tournament will follow suit as we await the presentation of the award ceremony.
Abdullah, talking about Havelock Sports Club, I think one player that we need to really mention, although he did not play any part in today's game, is Dushmantha Priyadarshana. Has been one of those standout players. Unfortunately, missed out on the last couple of games due to injury. But if he could have been present, Havis would have been a little more strong, especially with that experience he brings. Plays at prop, but sometimes does show speed of a wing three-quarter as well. His ball carrying ability, his wit that he uses inside the scrums and the breakdowns were clearly missed.
Yes, I've no doubt that they definitely missed his presence, Sudarshana. It's a pretty inexperienced forward pack from Havelocks, but whenever he was there, they just seemed to rally around him. They looked up to him in terms of making those correct decisions, and he's a player who always leads from the front as well. So there's no doubt that they definitely missed his presence. But despite that, I thought they've done relatively well to make it this far and to make it into a decider with the formidable Kandy outfit. But one thing which we also have learned from this season is that the talent is very well spread out amongst all clubs, isn't it? And I think in the future years as well, if this is maintained, we'll see some wonderfully close matches, and by that, a very close league tournament.
Absolutely, Abdullah. And especially given the fact that normally we know that Kandy has a stellar replacements rather. Those players have really made the difference when it comes to the second halves, but not this season. This season we've had the likes of Jansen, the Sharbirs who came in, who are very, very young players. So Kandy did have a struggle, especially given the fact that they had couple of injuries to contend with.
Yeah, that's right. They started off the league in a real bang, but as they came in towards the second round, they just seem to have fallen away, which you have to question whether they peaked a bit too early as well. But nonetheless, I think some of those younger players who they brought into the fold would have definitely benefited from this year's experience, and I'm sure that will hold them in good stead for the future.
So there you go, that's for the future. Now it's time for Kandy Sports Club to be crowned the league champions, and we will cross over to the presentation area.
Presentation of awards for the Dialogue Rugby League 2018 and 19. We're ready to kick off the celebrations this evening. A game home away from home for everyone who has been waiting for this opportunity. And what a tremendous performance. 5 consecutive years. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the champions. Let's hear it. Kandy Sports Club, congratulations. We're all to kickstart today's presentation. I have the pleasure of inviting Mr. Zue Zia, the Head of Content Acquisition and Channel Management of Dialogue Axiata PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Let's hear it from Mr. Zue Zia. Mr. Zue Zia will be presenting a very special award today, which is the official streaming partner, ThePapare.com, is presenting a very special Most Popular Player Award. The Papare Most Popular Club Rugby Player for the year 2018 and 19, and this was done based on online as well as SMS. So based on the number of votes, ladies and gentlemen, the Papare Most Popular Club Rugby Player 2018 and 19, Buddhima Piratna of Navy Sports Club. Your applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. Congratulations, Buddhima. With that, we'd like to say thank you to Mr. Zue A.M. Zia, Head of Content Acquisition of Channel Management Dialogue Axiata PLC. Ladies and gentlemen, we now begin the main awards for this evening. I have the pleasure of inviting our chief guests. Please put your hands together for the Group Chief Marketing Officer of Dialogue Axiata PLC, Ms. Amalie Nanakara. Ms. Nanakara will be joined by the President of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, the Chairman of the Tournament Committee, Mr. Risley Ilias, and the Honorary Secretary of Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Thusitha Peris. Your applause, ladies and gentlemen, to the presentation party. We begin with the highest point scorer. That's the award. We'd like to invite the Honorary Secretary of the Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Thusitha Peris, to present this award. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 tries, 24 penalties, 38 conversions, 4 drop balls, with a total of 185. Put your hands together for Samuel Madhuwanta, CHNFC. Dialogue Rugby League, highest point scorer, ladies and gentlemen, Samuel Madhuwanta. Congratulations. Now for the highest try scorer award, we'd like to invite the President of the Sri Lanka Rugby, Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, to present this award. Ladies and gentlemen, 11 tries. Sudham Suryarachi of CHNFC and Mithun Hapagoda from Havelock Sports Club. Highest try scorer award. Let's hear it for Sudham and Mithun, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, the Dialogue Rugby League Cup runners-up medals and trophy presentation. To present the medals, we'd like to invite the chairman of the tournament committee, Mr. ThePapare, the honorary secretary of the Sri Lanka Rugby, to present the medals. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Havelock Sports Club. We'd like to invite all the members, the runners-up, everybody. Let's give it a heavy applause, everybody. Medals presentation, inviting the entire team. Oh, come on, everybody, put your hands together. Let's hear it for each and every player from November till today. It's been a long run. True sportsmanship. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the Havelock Sports Club. And ladies and gentlemen, the runners-up trophy for the Dialogue Rugby League 2018 and 19. Please put your hands together for the Havelock Sports Club. Hiroshan Fernando, the captain. We'd like to invite Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, President Sri Lanka Rugby, to present this award. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the all-important Dialogue Rugby League champions medals and the trophy presentation now. We'd like to invite Mr. ThePapare, Honorary Secretary of the Sri Lanka Rugby, and Mr. Lasitha Gunaratne, President Sri Lanka Rugby, to present the medals. Please put your hands together for the champions. Inviting in the team, Kandy! Kandy, I'm not here. Give it up, everybody. Come on, put your hands together for the champions, Kandy Sports Club. And we'd like to invite our chief guest, the Group Chief Marketing Officer of Dialogue Asiata PLC, Madam Amali Nanaikara, to present the Champions Trophy to the captain. As we invite the captain to join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dialogue Rugby League 2018 and 19 champions for the 5th consecutive year, Kandy Sports Club! We're inviting the captain, Richard Dharmapala, to join us on stage. Let's hear it one more time. Dialogue Rugby League champions 2018 and 19. Kandy Sports Club.
Pick it up, kick it up, jump it, push it up, step it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way. Break it up, shake it up, jump it, roll it up, work it up, jump it, champions lift it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way. Grab it up, rock it up, jump it, pick it up, kick it up, jump it, push it up, step it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way. Break it up, shake it up, jump it, roll it up, work it up, jump it, champions lift it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way.
We'd like to invite the entire team to join us at the Champions Podium, which is on your left side, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to invite only just the team, the Kandy Sports Club team, to join us at the Champions Podium, which is on your left. Yes, paparazzi crowded, we love the spirit, but we'd like to invite the team captain, together with the trophy, just the team, to join us at the Champions Podium. It's an all-important picture. What a celebration. Concluding and wrapping things up at the Dialogue Rugby League 2018 and 19. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the Dialogue Rugby League champions, Kandy Sports Club.
Grab it up, rock it up, jump it, pick it up, kick it up, jump it, push it up, step it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way. Break it up, shake it up, jump it, roll it up, work it up, jump it, champions lift it up, jump it, Dialogue Rugby Sevens all the way. Grab it up, rock it up, jump it, pick it up, kick it up.
There you go, Kandy Sports Club being crowned as the champions of Dialogue Club Rugby League 2017-18, and taking that home to Kandy for yet another year. Despite being played at Havelock Park, plenty of Kandy's fans seem to have made the journey down to Colombo, and the organizers, I'm sure, are having a time trying to get an official photograph with only the players, because the Kandy fans have already mobbed the podium, and you can't blame them. They are dedicated to their team, and the players as well. Quite happy to have the fans around them, and what an effort it has been, Abdullah. Kandy, with uncharted waters, having lost 3 games, were really under the pump coming into this game. They were placed second in the league, had to win this game. A draw would have seen Havelock Sports Club taking the league trophy, and Kandy was up to the mark today.
Yes, it eventually came down to just a misconversion, isn't it, Sudarshana? But also, I think in this moment, we have to also acknowledge the work put in by their backroom staff. Sean Vijay Singer, probably in his last year as Kandy Sports Club coach, has done a lot for the club, both as a player and now as a coach. Fazil Marja stepping into the coaching ranks for the first time this year as well, giving him some good support. And also the management. I think for them to have such a consistent run of success over so many years, it just is no fluke. It shows consistency, how they manage players, how they manage to attract players and retain them. And I think a lot of commendation has to be given to them for their efforts as well.
And also something I picked up on at the beginning of, at the mid of the first half, Abdullah, you noticed this and you were straight away you were very quick to pounce on it, saying that Kandy looked the most settled side, whereas Havis did have some nerves coming into the game. I think that played a huge role in the end result, isn't it?
Yes, again, it's just a matter of those players being exposed to those kind of situations year in and year out. And for Kandy, what really stood out for me is how their experienced players stood out and took control of the game. Havelock did not seem to have anyone to do that until Mithun Hapugoda actually made his entrance into the field. But by that time, they were 21 points down. They came really close. But for me, the bigger factor was probably not taking those 2 penalty kicks, wasn't it? We were talking about how Kandy are likely to, their energy levels, their fitness likely to be tested in the latter part of the game, and that was the case. If they had just put over 2 penalties, 21 points to 6 going into half time, who knows what could have happened, but unfortunately it was not to be.
Because remember last time Kandy travelled here, that was in the second round, a final game of the second round. First half scores read 19 points to 5, despite Havis in favour of Kandy Sports Club, whereas Havis ended up ultimately 26 points to 28, winning that game. So yes, missed chances will be spoken of. We would never know what it could have been, or what it would have been if those 2 penalties were taken. But all credit to Kandy Sports Club for managing to win the league for 5 consecutive years. No easy task. Last time a different team won the league was way back in 2013-14 season, where Navy Sports Club ended up becoming champions. And since then, Kandy Sports Club have once again started to dominate. But that dominance is going to be challenged up front come the knockout, and also especially come the next year, Abdullah, from what we've seen this year.
That's right, Sudarshan. I think we've seen some good talent spread out right across the clubs. Some of the forces as well have stepped up and caused a few upsets to the bigger established clubs. And I think with the amount of talent that's coming out of the schools, the clubs will be able to absorb more talent, and we'll be able to see a much closer league in the future.
Today's game was very, very keenly fought out, and Shehan Patirena for Kandy Sports Club was ThePapare.com's player of the match, who delivered a superlative performance. And now Inshaf Kafur on the other side is with the skipper of Kandy Sports Club, Richard Dharmapala, who will share his thoughts on this terrific victory.
Very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're logged on to Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. I have with me the winning captain of the day, Kandy Sports Hub, Richard Dharmapala. Richard, මොකද ඉතින් ජයග්‍රහණය ගැන?
ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් සන්තෝෂයි නායකයෙක් විදිහට ටීම් එකේ ප්ලේ කෙනෙක් විදිහට. මොකද අපි මේ දේ වෙනුවෙන් ගොඩක් මහන්සි වුණා, ප්ලේයර්ස් ගොඩක් සැක්‍රිෆයිස් කරා, කමිටියේ හැමෝම ඉතින් ගොඩක් සන්තෝෂයි.
එතකොට පළමුවට ඉවරෙද්දි මොකක්ද තිබ්බ අභියෝගය? ආමි මැච් එකේ පෙරදුනා නුවර. මොකක්ද උනේ අභියෝගය මේ සුපර් රවුන්ඩ් එක වෙනකන් මහනුවර ක්‍රීඩා සමාජයේ?
හැම ටීම්ම හොඳට කම්පිටිටිව් ප්ලේ කරා. ඒගොල්ලෝ හැමෝම ෆයිට් කරා කප් එකට. ඉතින් මේ අවුරුද්දේ පොඩ්ඩක් ලේසි වුණේ නැහැ කප් එක ගන්න. ඉතින් අපි ආයෙ මැච් එක අපි හිතුවේ නෑ පරදි කියලා. හැබැයි ටීම් එකක් විතර අපි හිතුවා හරි අපි ෆේල් වුණා. හැබැයි ඒ දේ ආයෙ වෙන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි කොහොම හරි නැගිටිනවා කියලා.
එතකොට මේ ජයග්‍රහණය කැන්ඩි ෆෑන්ස්ලට කිව්වොත් පිටිපස්සෙන් හිටපු ෆෑන්ස්ලා ගැන මොකද කියන්නේ වචනයක් කිව්වොත් පොඩි කැන්ඩි ෆෑන්ස්ලට?
ඇත්තටම ඒක තමයි තියෙන ලොකුම වෙනස. ඇත්තටම අපි මේ හිතාගත්ත අපි සෙකන්ඩ් රවුන්ඩ් එකේදී අපි හිතාගත්ත අපි යන නුවර ෆෑන්ස් වෙනුවෙන් සෙල්ලම් කරනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට එකම සන්තෝෂය ඒගොල්ලෝ වියදම් කරගෙන ඒගොල්ලන්ට එක සන්තෝෂ කප් එක ගෙන තමයි. ඉතින් අපි හිතුවා අනිවාර්යෙන් ෆෑන්ස්ලට ඒ දේ දෙන්න ඕනි කියලා.
අවසාන වශයෙන් රිචඩ් ඔය ටීම් එක ගැන පොඩි වචනයක් කිව්වොත්?
ඇත්තටම ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා ඔක්කොම සැක්‍රිෆයිස් කරා. මට තැන්ක් යූ කරන්න ඕනේ ප්ලේයර්ස්ලාට, ප්ලේයර්ස්ලාගේ ෆැමිලිස් වලටත්, ඒ වගේම මැනේජ්මන්ට් එකට, ඒ වගේම අපේ මොටිවේෂනල් ටීම් එකට, එතකොට විශේෂයෙන්ම අපේ ෆෑන්ස්ලාට හැමෝටම තැන්ක් යූ කරනවා. මොකද අපි මොන දේ වුණත් අපේ පස්සෙන් හිටිය අපි බිලීව් කරා අපි දින්නවා කියලා. ඒක අපි ලොකු ශක්තියක් වුණා.
Richard Dharmapala. After that, I have with me the coach of Kandy Sports Club, Sean Vijay Singh, who has his 5th league title in this Dialogue Club Rugby League. Sean, a special moment for you. I remember talking to you before the first round. You wanted a 11-point margin, but then 16 minutes, 16 weeks forward, we have you with another league trophy.
Thank you very much. I want to thank God for this, and thank God it's finished. It's been long, 9 weeks since second round, and Havelocks, they never gave in. They were a very stubborn team. They stuck till the last moment.
So Sean, talk us through that second round. You lost a few of those key games. Then you went to this super round being second. What was that game plan in the Kandy Sports Club side?
It's matter of believing in themselves. I think we had crucial injuries in the team, so the second layer couldn't fit into the first layer. But end of the day, boys believe in each other and managed to finish it in a high note.
You've won the league as a player in and out, and now you won the league as a coach for the fourth successive year. How does that feel for you as a coach?
It's good. It's good. I think I'm quite happy about what we have achieved together. We have a few guys who have been working with me and played with me as well. So as a unit, I'm so happy what we have achieved.
Finally, I asked this question from Richard as well. What does this win mean to the team and the fans of Kandy Sports Club?
It's a difficult team to coach. I mean, the expectation is always high. You can't lose or you can't play bad. So a lot of pressure. So I think a lot of pressure has been relieved today. And for fans, it's for Kandy, it's mostly rugby. So I think they will really enjoy this moment.
There you go. That is the league-winning coach of Kandy Sports Club. Thank you, Sean Singer. Enjoy the rest of the evening. So it's back to Sudarshana at the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Inshaf. So there you go. It was Inshaf Kafur having a word with the victorious skipper, Richard Dharmapala, and Sean Vijay Singh, both of them dedicating this victory to the backroom staff and also especially to the Kandy fans who turn out in numbers to wherever they go. Upcoming week segments every Tuesday we have the breakdown, and this time the breakdown is sure to be a lengthy affair with the school's rugby action and also this club rugby game being analysed, and the rugby PTA will be brought to you on Tuesday, and every Wednesday you will be able to witness the try of the week segment coming to you. The upcoming segments on rugby on ThePapare.com, and it's been a terrific season, bringing you some interesting actions from all around the country, especially from Nittawala here at the Havelock Park, London Place, Racecourse, Valisera, Ratmalana, all around the park, and it's been one of those years that will be etched in our memories for the quality of rugby that was dished out and the competitiveness of this league. It's been our pleasure as ThePapare.com. It couldn't have come at a better time, especially given the fact that ThePapare.com is celebrating a decade of sharing the passion. We urge you to be with us as we continue to bring you action of the Schools Rugby League as well. I'm Sudarshan signing off from the Havelock Park alongside my co-host Abdullah Yusuf and ThePapare.com production and the technical team. Have yourself a great weekend.
Crescent Mini Keeves. Try it. Love it. The original Mini Keeves only from Crescent.
Sophisticated selection of Yardley, London.
Crunchy munchy.
Fiery Kochi.
Crescent Kochi Bites. Try it. Love it. The original Kochi Bites only from Crescent.
Okay, she's ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
Impressive CV. But why do you want to work here?
Is your unlimited package limiting you? Be really unlimited with the largest network. Talk unlimited with more than 13 million Sri Lankans with Dialog. Dialog Blaster Unlimited. A range of monthly plans starting from 777 rupees. Dial #678# to convert your package or get a new connection.
It's always been my dream to be a part of a blue chip company.